Hey guys, so we are back again with another reading. This one is going to be what do you guys have to expect this fall or autumn season. I'm actually also doing this reading during a full moon, so hopefully it's going to be extra powerful. I can feel that full moon energy just kind of pulsing away, so hopefully it's going to be extra special, extra potent this time. And we are going to be kind of celebrating the fall season. I love fall, at least in my part of the world. It gets pretty cold, it gets really cozy, the leaves change, and the sky gets darker way early. It's like you just want to bundle up, stay inside, light a fire. The outdoors smells kind of like smoke and dead leaves, and it just has this particular autumn smell, and everyone's eating pumpkin stuff and apple cider. So I just love it. I know a lot of other people love it as well, so I figured we would just celebrate it with this reading and go into the fall vibe. So we are doing pumpkins as well instead of my traditional food spread. So we are going to start from number 1, and I have my sweater as well for full cozy vibes. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. And I will show you up close. So this number 1 is just a green pumpkin. Maybe it's like less ripe or something, I don't know. But if you guys feel drawn to the color green, that would be the one to go with. This second one is more of a kind of warm yellow color, so you might feel drawn to number 2. This third one is the traditional orange pumpkin that we see on Halloween. So you might feel drawn to that. And finally, number 4, this one is kind of like a lighter, more citrusy yellow. So it's kind of more like, I don't know, greenish than number 2. So I don't know, whichever one you guys feel pulled to is the one to go with. Definitely trust your energy on that. But I am excited to jump into this reading and get into the fall vibes, you guys. So let's get started with pile 1. Hey pile 1, so if you guys picked this green pumpkin, this is going to be your reading. Guys, I pre-pulled your cards and let's get right into it. You got some really interesting ones. We got the 5 of Swords reversed, the Queen of Pentacles, Justice reversed, the 7 of Swords, you got the Hanged Man, you got Death reversed, you got the 3 of Cups, and finally you got the 7 of Pentacles reversed. So I'm not gonna lie, when I pulled out these cards, my first thought was like, oh no, like it's gonna be one of those readings where I have to deliver a bunch of bad news, and I just was not looking forward to it. A lot of these cards, to be honest, there is some negativity here. But I pulled your other cards and there's some good news as well. So bear with me for this reading. I hope you guys will watch to the end for this one in particular, because this is actually going to be a hugely influential and like big change in your life kind of month. So let me try to get into it. First of all, I feel like there are deceptive people around you, possibly like saboteurs, I think that's how you say it, that are trying to sabotage you. There might be some envy. There's definitely some deception or lying going on. People that may be talking behind your back, scheming, manipulating, and whatnot. And what I'm hearing from Spirit is that this has prevented you guys from earning money, from being in your highest self, and you might be like working on certain projects and you're like, why isn't this moving ahead? It's almost like this is a constant setback. I find when dealing with difficult people that it's really amazing how someone, especially if that person is really close to you, like a family member or a really close friend or maybe a romantic partner, where there's a deep level of attachment and this person has a really bad attitude towards you or intentions towards you, that interactions with them can kind of put you into an emotional tailspin, and you might not even realize how low your vibration is because of it until you remove yourself from that situation. And I'm seeing the image of like a little mosquito or gnat buzzing around someone, and I feel like this person has really sabotaged you guys in ways you might not even be aware of. This person's presence in your life has really prevented you guys from getting the bag, from getting money, and from glowing up. So this person is going to start being removed from your life. I actually feel like there's going to be some kind of a revelation, possibly a big blowout argument or something, but I'm hearing that things are going to come to a culmination of some kind. And I'm actually feeling like this is a really positive reading, and you'll see from some of the cards later what I'm talking about specifically, but I don't want to like rush ahead and talk about cards that you guys haven't seen yet. But I do feel like this is actually, I know it may not make sense looking at these cards, a hugely positive spread. I was actually really surprised when I pulled cards later that were so positive, because at first I was like, ooh, this just seems so negative. But what I'm hearing from Spirit is that it's not that the outcome or this change is negative, it's that this person has been so negative. This is like the current situation you guys are in right now, where this person is going behind your back, having bad intentions towards you, directing bad energy towards you. And with Justice reversed, I feel like there's like a feeling of unfairness, or at first it may even appear that this person has gotten away with something, or like, you know, like, oh my God, they really screwed me over and they're gonna win and I'm gonna lose and this is just so messed up, you know, something like that. I feel like this person, I feel like there's gonna be some revelation. I'm seeing someone take the blindfold off someone, like someone's wearing a blindfold and someone just pulls it off their eyes. I feel like there's going to be something that's going to come out, some kind of information or some foresight you guys are going to have, or some piece of knowledge, insight that's going to come to you, where you guys are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe this person did XYZ, or that this is how they felt all along. And it's almost like you've already known that in your deepest soul, but you haven't wanted to admit it fully. You may have been trying to make it work, or like, okay, maybe if I do this, or maybe that was my fault. And it's going to be like, wow, this person really always felt this way, and I maybe knew it deep inside but didn't want to admit it, and it's all going to come out. And I know that seems really unpleasant, but I have to convey things honestly to you. But I feel like while there may be some resistance at first with Death reversed, again, this is going to be a really positive change. After Death reversed, the next card we got is the Three of Cups, which is all about celebration. And I do feel like now that this person is removed, you guys can start moving forward. And it's going to be like, at first, this emptiness of like, oh my God, this person's gone, or wow, I really can't believe this person didn't care that much. Like, they haven't contacted me, or it's just going to be that heaviness of that realization of like, I wasted so much time, or this person really never cared, or just that pain we get when, I feel like the hardest thing is realizing that you kind of knew all along, but you didn't want to admit it and you wasted your time. For me, that's the most painful. I don't know, everyone's different. Maybe other people might have other things that hit them, but for me, it's always like, I can't believe I didn't go with my intuition, and I tried to see the best, but I really knew it all along. And so there's going to be that, I feel like, that self, you know, disappointment in yourself of like, why did I keep going with this? But there's going to be like a temporary emptiness in your life that is going to be filled. I'm feeling like an initial loneliness or emptiness, or like a period of you guys feeling a lot of loss. And then it's going to move forward into some of the way more positive energy that I see coming in. Because it's funny, whenever there is a space, like, Spirit will fill it, you know? I mean, I have talked before about one time, like, I love clothes. I'm a second house Venus Jupiter conjunction, so I love clothes, beautiful stuff. And so people are always like, go through your closet and donate. And I'm like, I just don't want to. I love everything I have. And one time when I did a move, I kind of misplaced a bunch of my clothing. And I was like freaking out. And I was like, I'm never going to get this stuff back. I can't believe it. I lost so much. And like, I was going to wear this to that. And I was so upset. And it's so funny because almost like instantly I started just stumbling across all these different clothes that I liked, like stuff where usually it takes me a while to build up and find like each piece I like. It was like boom, 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 and they just kind of fell into my life. And I liked my new wardrobe even better. And I think the thing is that sometimes we have this fear of like, I can't give that up, because we think that, you know, that's going to be it. And we don't realize that there's something way better waiting in the wings, and Spirit will always fill in the gaps. So that initial loneliness or feeling of loss is just, it's just kind of like that, the darkest before dawn moment. Like there's going to be so much happiness filling in next, but we'll get into that later. So we also got the sacral chakra, emotional withdrawal, temptation, which relates to the devil card, third eye chakra, solitude, and intuition. So with emotional withdrawal and solitude, that's kind of exactly what I was talking about. Like, I feel like there's going to be this period of a real sense of loss that you guys are going to go through. It's funny that I did this as a fall reading and I wasn't thinking about this, but the holiday season can be so hard if you are not close to family or if you don't have people to celebrate with. For some of you, if this is family, it may involve like, okay, I'm not going to go home for Thanksgiving. If you guys celebrate Thanksgiving or I don't know, whatever you guys have going on. But I think in most parts of the world, generally this period of months is like a ton of festivals and stuff where you go home and you see your family. It's just like that time of year. Like around the world, people do this. So I feel like for many of you guys, there might be a moment of like, so I'm not going to go home and visit my family. Or when you go, it hits different, and suddenly you're like, oh my God, it's so messed up that they always say this to me. And it's like you're going to see it with a different light. And there's going to be a lot of pain in that. And there's going to be a lot of feelings of loneliness with solitude and emotional withdrawal right on top of each other. I just feel like there's going to be this period of like a real sense of loss, like being alone and being like, when you just feel like you just took a major L. Like I'm hearing the line from the song that always brings up those feelings to me. Taylor Swift's Call It What You Want. I know I'm always bringing her up, but she has such great lyrics and stuff. And in that song, she says, the lyric that I'm hearing is, I brought a knife to a gunfight. They took the crown, but that's all right. And she's just talking more and more about just this huge loss she went through. Like, I took a knife to a gunfight, aka I lost. Like, I didn't realize these people were so shady. I didn't realize they were gonna lie to me. I didn't realize they had bad intentions. And now I realize it. And now I feel so stupid. And they took my crown and I'm just alone. You know what I mean? And it's like this really sadness that comes through in that moment. But the funny thing about that song is it's a really happy song. And she's saying at the end, call it what you want, because I withdrew from the public eye, but then I fell in love with, I think, her current boyfriend. And it's like, I've never been more in love. I've never been happier. So she had to go through that initial feeling of like bereavement. It's almost like mourning a relationship, mourning the fact that you kind of knew they were shady, but you trusted them or whatever. Like, I think, again, I think with her, that example is so great. And I bring it up a lot because I think she has a lot of psychic placements in her chart. I looked them up. She has a Scorpio Mars, I think, and she has a Cancer Moon, and I think she has some other Scorpio, unsurprisingly, right? Because she does like those revenge songs and stuff. But so she is psychic, and I'm sure, I think she knew that like Kanye probably wasn't the best person to like sidle up to, but there was a lot of pressure on her, I think, from the public or from the media of like, oh, you guys should make nice, you guys should be friends. So that's like that moment where you kind of know someone doesn't have the best intentions, but everyone's like, oh, they're so sweet, you should give them another chance, they didn't mean it. And so you kind of override your intuition and you're like, yeah, and you kind of create this fantasy in your mind of like, well, maybe they didn't mean it, and maybe they do have my best intentions at heart, and yeah, maybe we'll be friends. It'd be great if we were friends. Oh, that would be so nice, and blah blah blah, we can do this together. And you just totally go away from your intuition into like fantasy delusion land, and then when they really screw you over, there's just this period of like, oh my God, I feel so stupid because I knew this person, didn't have good intent. I knew it in my heart and I didn't listen. And that's, I think, the hardest thing. Not that someone else would betray you, but that you didn't listen to yourself. And I feel like you guys are going to go through that with someone in your life, whoever this person is, with the devil energy. It is telling me and confirming to me that this is a negative person who is around you who doesn't have your good intentions. So I don't know if it's family, maybe because it's the fall reading. Sometimes, you have the big blowouts at Thanksgiving or for holidays. And obviously sometimes that's because, people drink a lot on those holidays and stuff. But honestly, even if you're drinking a lot, you shouldn't have some of these truly dysfunctional fights that you see in some families where there's crying and there's total dysfunction and there's someone saying really messed up things and the parents are screaming. Like that's too much. You know what I mean? So I feel like for a lot of you guys, I have some friends and we've gotten really drunk together and it hasn't ended up like that. Like we get really drunk and do silly stuff, but when you see like super levels of dysfunction in families, I'm not one to give that a big pass. So maybe for some of you, this is a family member. It could also be friends. It could also be a relationship, but there is this kind of betrayal that is going to happen, or you guys getting the full wisdom of like, this is what's going on, I need to leave. And with intuition and the third eye chakra, I am feeling like you guys know about this already. There may be someone already coming to mind, and I feel like you guys probably are going to try to maintain this relationship or try to like keep it going, and then it's just going to blow up anyway. But I mean, that's part of the process sometimes. I'm the type of person that sometimes I need to like know. I need to like let it ride out until the very bitter end and then really see for myself. And I totally understand that sometimes you just need to give it another chance before you're finally ready to let go. Just, so you fully know that you tried everything. So no judgment on my part, but this is just what I'm seeing is like, I feel like you guys are going to feel when this happens, like, I already knew that this person was this way. So yeah. So we also got, let's see, let me pull these cards, or actually another pile. We got Yang, we got Treasure Islands, we got Message in a Bottle, Milk and Honey, and Round and Round. So Message in a Bottle does talk about like psychic insights and stuff. So again, just confirming, I feel like for a lot of you, you already have an inkling and it's gonna feel like a confirmation, not like, oh my God, I'm completely shocked. I thought this person was my best friend, and it's not going to be like completely no one you would expect. I feel like even if you've convinced yourself about this person and you're kind of like, no, I like them, when it happens, you're going to be like, I knew it, kind of a thing. Yang talks about the kind of masculine energy. So it could be a male for sure. It definitely could be a male. It also just could be someone who has kind of a warlike energy. So someone who's very combative or competitive. That's more of the non-divine masculine, like it's more of the, I forget it, but like, debilitated masculine energy. I forget the exact word for the type of disordered masculine energy, but it's like lower masculine energy. Of course, you can be divine masculine and be, competitive or have that like go-getter spirit. That can be positive, but this is more of the aggressively combative, pointlessly competitive, just like I'm going to be first for no reason type of like stupid energy. And so it could be a woman who has that kind of a vibe, but yeah, so what is interesting, and Round is telling me that's all about like a continuous dynamic that keeps happening. So I feel like this has been going on in your life for a while. This isn't necessarily someone that you met or made friends with 2 weeks ago or a month ago. This is probably someone that's been in your life for a very like long time, like at least months, if not years, probably more along the lines of years, but like definitely plays a big part in your life. And again, I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've already had inklings of this, or when it happens, you're not going to be totally shocked. You're already going to be like, I got that vibe. Milk and Honey and Treasures Island. Now this is where we start getting into this positivity that's coming through. And I was like, when Treasure Island came out, I was like, I don't know about this, for maybe this is the wrong card, but then we confirmed it with Milk and Honey and then some of the other cards. So basically that talks about financial abundance, and that's when I started to see the financial abundance and the money coming in. So I feel like now that you're starting to clear this person out, you guys are going to make room for more money coming in. If there's something you've been trying to manifest, but there's been trouble, like you're like, I'm trying to start this side hustle, but like I just can't, like I just get so stressed out and I can't, fulfill my shipments or something. It might be this person's presence in your life, because I feel like they really have sabotaged a lot. Just their negative energy being directed at you is bad enough, but I feel like, yeah, they may even be doing intentionally stuff to like sabotage you, like giving you bad advice or starting arguments with you that, they know you'll be upset about it for like days afterwards, and it will affect your productivity. So yeah, with this person being cleared out, you're kind of able to focus on this. It's actually funny because I'm seeing like an empty space in your life, which that's what I was talking about with the solitude and the emotional withdrawal. It's almost like there's just this empty gap. And I feel like there's a moment of you guys kind of being like really sad about that, especially I think this time of year, when everyone's like posting photos with their family at the Thanksgiving dinner table. There may be a moment of like, I feel so alone. But the funny thing is, like I said, whenever there's a gap, like God always fills it. So I feel like it's funny because I feel like the money is gonna fill it, and this abundance, and it's almost like you're gonna be like, well, I don't have time to really I don't have this person to call anymore. Maybe you used to like hang out with them or something, or you would spend time thinking about them, or they would take up mental energy or something. And now it's like you don't have that to deal with. And so now you're like, maybe I'll go pack those orders, or maybe I'll go work on my business, or maybe I'll study hard. And it's like, it's so funny because what's filling this extra gap is the money situation, is the abundance that wants to come in. So it's really kind of an interesting thing. I'm not seeing another person come in, I'm seeing money come in. So in this pile, we got envy, third chakra, Archangel Chamuel, storm warning. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel, angel of strength, door to value, patience, and blossoming abundance. So you can see what I'm talking about. Suddenly we have a ton of money cards coming in. And we have so many angel cards as well. So basically, I feel like, you should know that Spirit is watching over this situation. This may feel like a loss, like an L, like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. But this is divinely guided. I feel like your guides are going to be cheering and just like screaming and jumping up and down and going crazy, like, yes, they're finally out of their life. It's funny, what's coming to mind is a meme I saw the other day that was like a picture of someone looking like really disappointed and annoyed and kind of like, ugh. And the title, or like the text on it, was like, how my spirit guides are looking when I give another chance to someone that they've told me time and time again is bad for me, or like someone that's constantly using me and I kind of know it, but I give them another chance. I think that's something a lot of spiritual people fall into. And some of these spiritual leaders will tell you like, you have to forgive, or every relationship is a reflection of you. That is not true. There are narcissists out there, crazy people, demonically possessed people. I mean, just being honest, like, you do not need to be forgiving everyone. I mean, the thing that you have to realize when you level up spiritually is that it's important to kind of clear, not to be harsh, but the trash out of your life. Like, you can't expect to like do well if you're living in a house piled to the rafters with trash. I'm not obsessed, but I love the show Hoarding Buried Alive, and I talk about it a lot. I talk about that and Taylor Swift. I sound so weird. But anyway, I love that show. And it's like, yeah, you will see people living in houses that they never cleared out the trash. They never got rid of like the can of green beans from 1984 that's like a used can. And they just live like that. And it's a horrific way to live. And it's filthy and disgusting. And in the same way, I'm not comparing people to like piles of rotting trash from 1984. I mean, maybe some people, but anyway, I just feel like some people, it's like you do need to do clearance of your life. When someone's holding you back and someone really has bad intentions for you, you can still pray from them from a distance, but your guides didn't put you on this planet to take abuse, to be someone else's punching bag. You have an important purpose, an important destiny. And in order to fulfill that, you need to be in a somewhat high vibrating place. You can't be like completely depressed, crawling around, like I said, like living in a house full of trash and expect to like do amazing stuff. It's just pretty difficult. And so I think that, this is a really happy moment. This is you guys allowing this abundant energy to come into your life in a way I don't even think you guys are fully prepared or ready for. I feel like you guys are going to be, it's like almost like one of those cartoons where the piano drops from the sky on someone. Like that's like the money coming on for you guys. Like you're going to be like, what the heck? What do you mean? Like it's almost like maybe some of you guys have not had money or been financially lacking for a while, and when it comes you're going to be like, I didn't know this was a possibility for me. And I'm not saying that will come in right away, but I feel like for many of you it will. Like I feel like this is opening this pathway. This is opening this door in your life. Like I said, it's opening this space for the money to fill. And so, the timeline could be different since it's a general reading, but that's what you're creating the space for. That's what's going to fill it. So for some, if you guys have been trying, manifesting, and like working on this, I feel like as soon as this person exits, it's going to be like the money. For others who are at the beginning of that, and you're maybe just starting a business or just, beginning this path, maybe it'll take a few months or a year, but I feel like for a lot of you, honestly, I'm getting that it is coming in quick. And I feel like also Spirit is so excited that you're going to cut this person out that they are like going to reward you. Like they're kind of aware that you're watching this situation. I feel like with Justice Reverse, like they know that you're kind of like feeling like this is so unfair. So they want to give you that encouragement of like, no, you made the right choice. I know when I cut someone important to me out of my life a few years ago, there were so many moments where I almost turned back, called them, apologized for something that was 100,000% not my fault, like comically not my fault. And I felt so strongly my guides being like, don't do it. And if I ever got kind of like lonely and felt tempted, it was so weird because it was like something would happen. Something like literally in my guides are like funny. So they don't give me like sweet little messages and stuff. They would make something like crazily fall down in my room, like a picture frame. And I'd be like, oh my God. And I actually consulted a psychic about it because I was so freaked out at how often it was happening. And that's what the psychic told me. She was like, no, that's your grandmother. And she's really wanting you to make sure she does that every time you think about calling XY person. And so anyway, I was like, oh my God, how did you know? Like it was so specific. And so that's the thing. Your guides, I feel like they don't want you to be in contact with this person. And if you get tempted, like they're aware sometimes of how hard it can be for us to cut certain ties. And they're aware of how difficult of a process it is and how tempting it can be to like just give it one more shot and just okay, like maybe it was my fault. And like the way, especially as spiritual empathic people, can kind of gaslight ourselves and end up trying to take all the blame and being like, oh, maybe if I did this I should have been more loving. And that's not actually how you're supposed to be. That's not like a positive energy. I know we kind of glorify that in the spiritual community sometimes of being like this little sweetheart, but you're not actually supposed to be a total pushover. Like even Jesus in the Bible, like, he threw over all the tables of the in the market. I don't know. I'm not that much of an expert on the Bible, but I know that they were doing shady stuff. So he threw over all the tables. He flipped those tables upside down. Like he was like not playing around. And so that's the thing. Sometimes you got to flip a few tables and you got to be like, that's it, and stand up for yourself and have some dignity. That is a positive thing. That is not a negative thing to, sometimes we kind of in the spiritual community act like everyone has to be a doormat and just tolerate bad behavior. So I just want you guys to know that this is really positive. Even if with storm warning, this is like a blowout, some huge fight. Again, it's positive, and also know that you're divinely protected. So maybe for some of you, it could even like escalate to the person being like, I'm going to say XYZ about you, or I'm going to call XY person, or I'm going to blah, 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 like to you, threatening you or something. Like, I feel like some of these people could be really out of control, crazy, because they really have a lot of negative energy around them. And you are protected spiritually. So just like stay in your peace, remove yourself from the situation, and know that the angels have got your back. So they're going to kind of keep you protected in this. And you can always call upon them if you need help. You can use Psalm 23 or prayer to Saint Michael for protection, because he is the protective angel. So, and that works for any religion. I think all religions are open to Saint Michael. So and then we got envy. So yeah, this person, I feel like they're very envious towards you. They really have been watching you for a long time in such a negative way. It's really creepy. I don't understand people who are just so low vibration. And then patience, again, I feel like this situation has been happening for a while. So we also got whale breach and lotus flower unfoldment. So I feel like it's like the whale breaching, like it's almost like I'm also hearing breaching out of prison or like escaping out of prison. Like this is like a moment of escape for you guys, or this is a moment of like when the whale, flips himself out of the ocean, and it's like this burst of energy, this burst of like getting out, and so it's like I feel like you guys might not know how special of a moment this is, but it truly is so special. It truly is such a exciting time. I feel like you guys are going to look back on this as like a turning point, as like, wow, that was an incredible season for me. And lotus flower unfoldment is really talking about like, blooming where we're planted, kind of. And also like the lotus flower, it actually blooms in like, the dark silty soil at the bottom of the river, kind of like the muck and the nastiness. And so it's funny because it's one of the most beautiful flowers, but it comes out of like I said, the nasty little muck. And so it's like I feel like you guys are going to benefit a lot from this situation, even though you don't see it now. And I'm not saying, so keep in touch with them and like, they're awesome, they're going to benefit you. But it's funny, we grow the most through hardship. So I'm not saying this person is nice. I don't think they intend for you to benefit, but I feel like you're going to. I'm hearing one of my favorite Bible verses, which is, they dug a ditch for me, but they have fallen into it themselves. All my like favorite Bible verses are like chaotic, but yeah, it's like I feel like this person's trying to sabotage you, but they're actually gonna make you glow up, and then they're gonna sabotage themselves, because I know they're getting karma from this. And we did get the Justice card, so congratulations, you played yourself to them. And then we got into the unknown, balancing act, and peaks of joy. So this is all about, I feel like you guys are scared. It's like this is a scary time. When this happens, there's going to be that moment of like, oh my God, what a loss. I can't believe this. And feeling really upset about this change. But know that this is so positive. This is so beautiful and so positive. And you guys are going to be on this path to peaks of joy, to, incredible blessings, financial blessings specifically. I'm getting financial blessings, and it's come up in all the cards, like that is so, keeps coming up. So that the money is about to like flowing. I'm seeing like, that Scrooge McDuck diving into his little sea of coins. Like I'm seeing that image. So you guys are going to be like having that come in sooner or later. Again, I don't know the timeline, but that's what's opening up in your life because of this removal. So you guys should be excited. Sometimes, that takes a few years, but this is like the portal that you're creating when you open and remove this person from your life. And so finally we got success and purity. So I feel like you guys, Spirit is saying that you guys have been very pure. You guys have been very sweet and innocent. I see this kind of a vibe dynamic happen a lot to like very sweet, nice people, like pure people, good intentioned people. And it's like a narcissist or just a jealous, envious, nasty person will kind of has a radar for those type of people and will zero in on them. But I'm hearing you guys have kept yourselves pure. Like you haven't sunk down to their level. You haven't, sometimes when you see someone gets exposed to a lot of evil nastiness, they start absorbing it and acting that way themselves. And it's kind of like a spiritual test, but you guys haven't done that. You guys have kept this pure heart. And because of that, you're going to be blessed immensely because you passed this test. And that's where the success comes in. You guys are going to have success. I feel like Spirit kind of wants to rub the noses of the people that did this to you, like rub their noses in it. Like they want them to have to watch, they want them to have to see. I'm also hearing a verse from Psalm 23, which is, he prepareth a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. So, you know, he makes a feast for me in the presence of my enemies, which is such a great verse. And if you think about it, it's like, you know, that's talking about he's making a feast for me to celebrate me, and I'm going to be eating it in front of my enemies, and they're going to have to sit there and watch. And when you think about that, like, why do the enemies have to be there? Why would they be invited? You know, like they could be down the hall, they could be in another room, they could be across the city, across the state, across the country. They don't have to be there, but like God, Spirit is going to make them have to witness you guys coming into your success so that they have to see what they did. I doubt they will do self-reflection because most of these low vibrational people, they're not into that. But, you know, too bad. You don't have to understand it, but you're going to have to observe it and watch it. So, also, as Drake says, another one of my favorite quotes, if you haven't been a part of it, at least you got to witness. So I keep getting stuff about witnessing, seeing you guys, having to observe you guys come into your success. And, you know, it's going to really irritate them, but that's what we love to see because they deserve it. So you guys deserve this beautiful abundance that I see, and they deserve to be sad. And so that's what's going to happen. So yeah, like I said, it started really negative, and I was like, oh, this is not a good time for them. And then I was just like, okay, money card, money card, money card, money card. And then I started getting the vibe. So I'm really excited for you guys. I mean, the final card I pulled was the success card. I actually pulled purity first. I put that down second while I was doing the reading, but this is the one I actually pulled last. And so that's the final end result for you guys. And just know that that is happening, that is coming in. So when this loss or this realization happens about this person or people, you know what? I know it stinks, but try to celebrate it. Try to be like, woohoo, yes, party time, yay. Like literally if you can, or if you're of drinking age, maybe pop a bottle of wine, or, you know, I know it's hard when you feel that loss, but try to remember that this is a huge blessing. You may not understand it or see it now, but it really is. So, you know, just know that. So I am so excited for you guys to have this change. I know it's weird to say I'm excited for you guys to have like a blowout fight with someone and lose a friend, but this is a huge, beautiful blessing for you guys. So I really hope that resonated, you guys. Please let me know if it did in the comments. I'm excited for your autumn. I hope it's amazing, you guys. Sending you lots of love and light, and I will see you guys in the next video. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you'll get notified as soon as I post. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hey pile 2, so if you guys picked this yellow pumpkin, this is going to be your reading. It is so cute. I love the little stem and it's perfect for fall, but let's get right into it, you guys. You have some interesting cards. So we're going to start off with the 10 of Wands. We're going to go to the Ace of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune upright, the 6 of Pentacles, Knight of Swords reverse, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and finally the Hanged Man. So I feel like first of all, there's like an achievement coming through for you guys. There's some kind of a culmination moment with the 10 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortunes, the Queen of Pentacles. There may be some kind of a financial achievement, or just that you guys are at a really good place with work. You guys are just, you know, it's like you kind of figured it out. You've achieved something. There's a good money flow. There's a good work situation. But also, I feel like for many of you, this is just the energy of kind of having to put one foot in front of the other. This is not necessarily the time for you guys to be like ruminating, really thinking about stuff and like deep in thought. Like this is just the time almost for you guys to be just putting one foot in front of the other, just making things happen. I'm hearing like, just do it, like Nike, you know? It's kind of like how people say, you know, whether you feel like going to the gym or not, just go and you'll feel better afterwards. What's coming to mind is like an example from my life where over the past 2 weeks, I've just been waking up and going for like a 2-hour walk. I think I just started it one day where I was like, I really feel like going for this walk. And I just woke up and did it. And then the next day I was like, that was really nice. I think I'm going to do it again. And then the third day, same. And next thing I knew, it was like this habit. And I would just wake up and, you know, look for my sneakers, grab my protein bar, you know, obviously brush my teeth and like wash my face and put on sunscreen. But then I'm out the door. And the thing is, like, when I usually wait to do it later in the day, I'm always like, do I feel like it? I don't know. I'd have to drive. I hate driving. Maybe I should go to a different location. I don't know about that trail. Maybe this, you know, and instead I just have gotten into like, my body is like memorizing that route and knows exactly what to do and kind of looks forward to it. So it's like second nature, and I always feel so good afterwards. And also while I'm on the walk, it's so peaceful. So my point is that sometimes, you know, I feel like sometimes we can get in our own heads and just overthink, be like, should I do it? I don't know. Let me weigh the options. I'm not sure. Maybe if I do this, well, what about that? And it's like we can get into this like tailspin. And I feel like for you guys, there's this energy of just you guys just, like I said, putting one foot in front of the other and just almost like body memory of like, I'm just going to get up, I'm going to go, like me grabbing my sneakers and, you know, just heading out the door. Like it's kind of so much easier for us to accomplish stuff when we do make it into a routine, or when we, you know, just do it. Just don't think about it. You know, I find so much of the time I'm someone who like overthinks. I overthink about like everything. I love to overthink or think deeply about things, which is like an advantage a lot of the time, but sometimes you can end up just sitting around thinking about something over and over and weighing your options, and next thing you know, the opportunity's like gone. So I feel like for you guys, there's this energy where it's just about like kind of like you guys just doing the work. You know what I mean? Just putting in the work, putting in that energy, that effort, and not overthinking it or getting too deep into like this kind of spiral of mental gymnastics, I guess. You know what I mean? And I feel like there is this abundance either already in your life or coming into your life. We got the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Cups, like huge queen energy. So I feel like for you guys, either you're already there or you're on your way there. The Six of Pentacles is an interesting card, so you could either be like one or the other. So some of you guys may be really financially abundant and already at a place in your career that's really high up, and others of you may be just kind of like reliant on a boss, or where it's like you don't really, you know, necessarily love your boss, but like you kind of need the money, or you are relying on your parents or something like that. But, you know, I feel like either way, like the road is to abundance. The road is to success. And right now you guys are just kind of being stoic, dealing with the situation. Even though you guys have already experienced some success, this is about keeping it going and just continuing to do the effort, continuing to do the work. You know, I feel like for you guys right now, this is kind of like go time. This is just the time to be productive. It's not the time to be like super deep questioning the meaning of life. It's like, okay, just gonna put in that work. So we also got the Angel of Balance reversed, Appreciation, Angel of Love reversed, a Woman Holding a Heart reversed, Adore to Value, and Yin Yang reversed. So yeah, it's interesting that Appreciation and Adore to Value are the only upright cards. So I feel like for some of you guys, there may be like a little bit of a lack of balance, or a little bit of you guys, you know, having to work hard, or maybe like not focusing as much on love or other aspects of your life and just focusing on the money situation. But for me, I don't necessarily think that's like a bad thing. I just feel like right now that maybe the reality of your life is like, you know, that like the love is having to take a back seat to you guys kind of focusing on your career and getting the bag, but sometimes that's what happens. I mean, life happens in stages and cycles. So it's like, there will be, it's like that song, for every time there's a season or whatever. So I feel like there's a time for love, there's a time for work, but it's okay if you go through a few months where one thing is kind of your focus, because I feel like you guys are manifesting something really big. I mean, we've got door to value, we got the Queen of Pentacles, we got the Ten of Wands. So I feel like you guys are doing something with this money situation or this abundance situation that is really going to pay off really hugely for you guys. So I would be fine with, letting love take a little bit of a backseat temporarily while you're, focusing on that. This is not saying this is your whole situation for the rest of your life, every day. This is going to be it. It's just, for a fall, maybe that's just the focus is like, okay, I got to work. I got to get this career stuff in order. So yeah, I feel like, maybe your life is a little bit out of balance in that sense, but that's kind of okay. I'm not getting like a super strong warning sign or anything. I just feel like that's just kind of what maybe you guys have to do right now. So we got building blocks, round and round, observer reversed, why reversed, and here and now. So yeah, I feel like Spirit is telling you and just kind of confirming that you're supposed to live in the here and now. You're supposed to be in the present. If you guys have been feeling like, maybe you've been too focused on work, or like, oh, I'm neglecting other areas of my life, or, I haven't been on dates and I'm supposed to be on dates or something. It's like, it's okay, because you guys, I feel like, are trying to work on focusing on abundance. You might be one of those people. Honestly, I do this where like, I don't care that much about what's going on with my love life right now, to be honest, because I'm focused on other stuff in my life. So those are my preferred pick of cards, is not so much the loved ones, but a lot of people love the loved ones. But you guys might want to be one of those people that like when a loved one gets posted, you're like, I guess I'll watch it. But you prefer like the career advice, or you prefer the like life advice ones, and you're not like into like what's going to happen next in your love. You're like, I don't care, whatever. I don't know. For some of you guys, that might be the vibe. But if that's the case, I feel like you guys are working on something that is going to really pay off. And there is this focus that you guys are very, it's just like, I don't know how to describe it, very productive. It's almost just like a factory worker who just is doing something by memory. You know what I mean? Like they're not sitting. I remember like what's coming to mind for me is like, I took this job working for an estate sale company because I love antiques and estate sales. Second house, Venus conjunct Jupiter, so I love like beautiful items and antiques. And I was going to this estate sale all the time, and she was like, do you want to come work for us? And I was like, yes, that's my dream. So I started working there, but I had never done like I guess manual labor is what it's called. And I remember like I was like cleaning something, like the dust off something, and I asked her, I was like, okay, so what's the best way to rub the dust off? Like, should I just sweep all around, or should I, like, do you want it really clear? And she was like, just clean it. And that was such like a light bulb moment for me. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such an overthinker. And in all my jobs, they'd always been very intellectual, and also like at college and stuff. So I had never like just turned my brain off like that. And when she told me that, I was like, oh my God, duh. And then it became so much easier, and I really enjoyed that job so much, where it was like, I don't have to overthink. I don't have to like examine it from a million angles. Just do it, And I feel like that's kind of the energy here, where it's like, you guys don't need to be thinking super deeply about everything that's going on. It's just about doing this. And maybe for some of you guys, this is about setting a routine. Like I said, some of you guys may be thinking, because I keep getting like fitness vibes, some of you guys may be thinking about starting a new health routine, eating healthier, or getting into a fitness routine. And I feel like this is really a great time for that. I feel like this is just a time for work. I'm hearing that song by Rihanna, like work, 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 work. So yeah, I feel like this is just about putting in that work. Almost like when I would go into that job, it's like I would shut my brain off, and I wasn't in there like thinking like, okay, so let me swipe this down with this, and I'll arrange it that way, and I wonder what the origin, like I just do it, and there's actually something so beautiful about that. And you just kind of go into like this automatic mode. And I feel like that can be one of the most productive times, because so much of the time when we think and we overthink, it's like the moment passes, you know, and it's just sometimes about just getting in your seat, getting it done, making it happen, and not thinking it to death. So I feel like, I don't know, that's what's coming through for you guys. So yeah, we also got cleaning house, gentle gardener reversed, sad embrace. So yeah, I feel like it's funny that I was mentioning cleaning that item and then we got cleaning house, but this is just like an industrious period for you guys. I feel like with gentle gardener reversed, it's like this is not the time for you guys just to be gentle and chilling and just kind of like slowly making things happen. This is like kind of like go time. Some of you guys may feel a little, it's like you tried to manifest this, now it's happening, now it's here, and you're kind of like, ugh. And it's not as fun as it was at the beginning when you had like a dream. Now it's like, okay, this is here, and it's just about grinding. It's just about putting in the work and actually just making it happen. And so that's always less fun than when you have like an idea in your head and you're like, oh, I'd love for that to happen. And then the reality of it takes place and it's like, oh, this is a lot of work. But I mean, even you see like world famous recording artists who like have the most fun job ever and are like singing on a stage every night to millions, and they get bored, you know, and they'll be like doing sound check and looking like, like I'm so tired, you know. And it's like, so everyone, I feel like sometimes has moments in their job or with the stuff they do where you're just like, I'm just burnt out, or I just don't necessarily want to do this, but this is just about kind of powering through that and just keeping it going. And I feel like it is going to result in a culmination in the end of success. So we also got community, diligence, and new beginnings. And also with sad embrace, I feel like some of you guys may be feeling lonely with maybe like because the romance isn't happening, or there may be some of you guys in relationships where you have a partner who's like, oh my God, you're always at work, or you're never focusing on me or something. But I feel like honestly, Spirit is saying that like maybe some of you guys have like a lack of balance and it needs to be addressed, and you'll have to use your own intuition on that. But I'm not getting a feeling of like something being super wrong or anything, like just intuitively. I just feel like this is like the current situation, and hopefully, you know, like sometimes you have to go through that stuff with a partner where they're just swamped at work, and obviously if it happens for, you know, years on end, then like it can be a problem. But if someone's like, well, this just for a few months I have to really work, you know, I feel like most supportive partners would be okay with that, or would be like, okay, like I understand, and you know, afterwards we can like make up for lost time or something. So I don't feel like Spirit is saying that you guys are like majorly messing anything up. So if there is like guilt, or you guys feeling like maybe I should go on Tinder, or why haven't I gone on a date, or oh my God, I'm like neglecting my love life, I feel like you guys just chill, because like I feel like this is just that stage, and this is a positive stage where you guys are doing what you're supposed to do. You're just kind of nose to the grindstone, and I feel like that Spirit is saying this is a positive thing. Diligence is so the energy that I'm talking about. Like it's just you guys just committing to something and following through on it, and that's a positive thing. So yeah, I feel like Spirit is saying that they're happy with that. You know, they are not scolding you. They are glad that this is kind of the attitude you're taking. I feel like you guys are putting one foot in front of the other, and it's almost like, you know, putting a quarter at a time in a piggy bank, and then at the end you're like, oh my God, I have $100, you know, where it may not seem like these huge moments. It may not seem like, oh my God, I just deposited, you know, $25 at a time, but each quarter adds up. And you guys, every day when you're going into work or you're putting in that effort, it's like adding up to this culmination moment that I feel like you guys are going to have. And with new beginnings, I feel like they're talking about that. Like there is going to be this fresh thing that comes into your life. We did get the Hanged Man. So that's kind of like new beginnings as well. It's like a moment of like really seeing the world differently. You know, it's seeing the world upside down. The guy's hanging upside down. So suddenly he's like, oh, okay, this looks different. So I feel like there is going to be a moment at the end where like something new comes through, or there's some clarity, mental clarity. There might be things that Spirit is holding back from you in the moment. That's resonating. Like I feel like maybe for you guys, there's stuff you're not supposed to know about and something new is coming, but you're not really supposed to be aware, because Spirit's kind of confirming that to me. Like, they're not telling me what specifically it is. I feel like it's supposed to be a surprise. So I feel like for many of you guys, this is just, it's almost like I'm feeling like a lot of you guys are being tested, or you guys, they're trying to see if you guys will do what you're told, is what I'm hearing. So it's like you guys maybe have been getting messages from Spirit that you just need to work on a certain thing. And it's like, I see you guys just doing the work, putting in the work. And that is going to pay off. And Spirit's like very watching this very closely, actually. I feel Spirit is very much, I actually pulled a ton of angel cards earlier and I was just like, this cannot be all angel cards, so I put them back, in all honesty. Sometimes I'll, like, that happens very rarely, but if it's a bunch of angel cards in a row, I'll be like, okay, I'll let them know that the angels are watching. But I kind of forgot to mention that. And you guys, and I kept some of the angel cards in. I kept an Angel of Balance and Angel of Love, but you guys got a lot. And I was like, they don't want to just hear me listing off a list of angels, so let me get some other specific cards. But I feel like now that's coming to mind because, you know, I feel like Spirit is very much paying attention to this situation, because I never usually get that. I don't think I've ever gotten so many angel cards, like one after the other. I was just like, okay. But I guess they're all here. But I mean, I feel like Spirit is really paying attention to what you guys do right now. And they like that you guys are being very diligent. And they like that you guys are putting in the work. And it's like, if you guys can just keep going, there's going to be some kind of a major breakthrough that happens. And then that's going to bring in something very new. Like, I feel like it's unexpected. I don't know what it is. Because I feel like it's not going to be what you guys expect, or what you guys maybe... It's like maybe there's going to be something you expect that does happen, but it's going to, like, domino effect, bring in something else, and then you're like, what is this? And it's going to be like a fresh surprise. So yeah, I feel like you guys have a new beginning coming in. I'm going to be honest, I feel like for some of you it could be a breakup, but I feel like it would be a really positive breakup. So don't take that if you're like, no, I'm in love with my person, I'm super happy with them, I'm obsessed with them, then I don't feel like that message is for you. I feel like it would be for someone who's kind of in a lukewarm relationship, that they're like, oh, like, yeah, we see each other like a couple times a week and there's not really a spark, but you know, we're good together, or something like that kind of a vibe. Like, I feel like that relationship might end, and then like you have a new relationship coming in, or something like that. Because I don't know, I'm just getting that for some of you. So take it how it resonates. But for some of you, there might be some kind of an ending at the end, but in a very positive way. Like, I don't feel like you guys are going to be super upset about it. I feel like a lot of you guys will be like, okay, this needed to happen, you know? Like, it won't even take that long for you guys to process it, you know? So we also got... Let's see if I can get the cards out. We got victory and success. Prosperity begins. Foundation and achievements. Mental conflict, moving on. Throat chakra, and material and spiritual prosperity. Wow. So yeah, this is a ton of like culmination cards, victory cards. I mean, this is all about you guys really, some of you guys may be like really achieving stuff financially and truly like getting some kind of a payout, or achieving something in your career. So I don't know what that is. Or it may be that you've been considering starting something like a side hustle and you're like, I don't know, like I feel like this would be a great time, because that is coming in super strong of like some kind of financial long-term, like this is like more financial long-term success, not so much like winning the lottery. It's more about like a business paying out, or work really paying off, or you guys having long-term success. I feel like this is something you guys have been working on for a while, have been moving towards very steadily, and so it's like it really starts to pay off, or it's already paid off. But it's like, I feel like you guys are just going to keep going. Like, it's not like you guys are going to throw a huge party and like take it in and be like, aha, this is my moment. It's almost like, okay, we did that. Now it's back to the grindstone. But I feel like that's really good. That's really positive for you guys. Yeah. And with moving on, again, there may be some kind of a breakup or something, things falling out of your life that don't support this. Because I feel like you guys are just super focused on success. You guys are just super focused on your bag, on your finances, on your career. And I feel like that is really going to progress in the right direction. Like you guys are moving forward in a really positive way. And the money is definitely going to be heading towards you. It may already be there and it may just increase more. And it may be that you're like already glowed up, already accomplished a lot, and now more comes in. But I just feel like you guys are it's almost like someone's progressing down a path that was already there. And they're just walking down the path. They're just taking those steps, you know what I mean? And spirit has already like cleared it a little bit. Like you guys don't need to be in the stage of like figuring it out or trying to, work out what you're supposed to do. You already kind of know. And it's just like, okay, now I just got to do the work. I just got to, and I feel like it's really just paying off. I mean, that's just coming in really strong. Like, it's not like some of you guys might not even understand it or be like, I don't know, but I just feel like I should do this. And so you just do it. Like my metaphor that I said at the beginning of like me just going on those walks in the morning, it just started with me being like, I feel like doing that. And then it's like been awesome. And I really love that routine. So it just started as me just being like, I kind of want to go for a walk. And then, it kind of snowballed. And so I feel like sometimes we just go off like animal intuition, kind of like just instinct. It's kind of like how do birds know how to fly south in the winter, and how do like all the animals know how to mate in their own weird, unique ways they all do. It's because we're all blessed with like intuition from God. And so I feel like sometimes we just do things and we don't necessarily understand it. And we're just like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just feel so called to it. And that's often like the most magical thing, and like the most or not empowered, but the most spiritually intelligent people will be the ones who listen to that, even though it may not sound intelligent to like, oh, but you're not overthinking it. You're not asking a million questions. You're not making a pros and cons list. It's like, I don't need to, because I'm working on intuition. And that's like the most powerful thing in the universe. It's like that deep intuition that spirit gave us. So I feel like you guys, there's just a lot of this instinctual energy, a lot of just following this path. So we also finally got full moon completion and dawn new beginnings. So I feel like for you guys, again, this is just such a powerful 2 cards to end it on. And these are the last ones I pulled, so I didn't arrange it that way. But I feel like for you guys, there is like a culmination moment. It's like you guys have already done something and you're kind of leveling up, moving to another stage. And you're just going to have to keep going. It may not seem like a moment of, I accomplished so much, it may not be that moment where sometimes you like accomplish something, you get a promotion or something, and your whole office throws a big party for you, and there's balloons and there's cake and there's streamers and people are, dancing and clapping for you. But sometimes you get that promotion and, you leave your boss's office and you go back to work and it seems like any other day, And I feel like that's kind of the vibe. It's like, okay, back to the grind, but that's not like any less special when you think about it than the back to the grind thing. And that's also a lot smarter, because the day after, when you take off the whole day to have an office party and everyone's like having champagne and cake, it's like you're not going to get any work done and you're going to have to work twice as hard the next day. So I feel like, and also, there is something to be said for kind of holding things close to your chest and not telling everyone your business. And I feel like that's the energy I'm getting from you guys, is like, you're not needing to go around and shout to everyone about like, I accomplished this, I did that, I took care of this. It's like you guys are just doing it. You're just, again, working off instinct, just going after it on a very primal level. And you're not feeling the need to like blast, your situation to everyone, which I think is really smart. So you're just kind of like staying very low key, but you guys are accomplishing so much. So I feel like spirit is just kind of commending and like confirming that you are on the right path, and they love to see this like industrious side from you. I feel like a lot of you guys may have been working on this glow up for a while, and it's almost like you already mapped it out and you already made the path, and now you're just following the path, and it's just about taking that step by step, just following the path. And then we have the dawn, new beginnings. So it's like there is something very new that's going to be coming into your life. I almost feel like for some of you, things are going to really shift, like later on in the year or early next year. And this is kind of like I said, the testing period, or like it's just like this is like the calm before the storm, or just kind of like, yeah, like it's like, with dawn is when the light hits. And this is kind of like where you're in the darkness. You don't really know what's ahead, but you're just like, okay, I'll just keep going. And then dawn comes and you're like, oh, that's where I was headed. So I feel like for right now, it's just about continuing that grind, putting in the work, doing all the stuff you need to do. Again, some of you guys, it may be adapting a fitness routine or starting a new, health routine, or maybe you guys already are on that path and it's just about doing the same thing. But it's like, I'm hearing like consistency is key. So it's like, I feel like some months you have these giant revelations, or you have, some big blowout fight, or you have some giant new event that happens. And this is more about the daily grind of just, getting that work in, whether you feel like it or not. And so I feel like, even though sometimes that may not be the most glamorous time, that's where you get the work done. I'm hearing like the metaphor of like, when you go up to win an Oscar is not when you like win the Oscar. You know what I mean? Like that moment where you're in your dress and your makeup and everyone's drinking champagne and it's so glamorous. That's not actually the moment where you like got it. You got it when it was like going to set at 6 a.m. and having to do stunts, or having to cry on camera and like memorize lines, like put in the work in some dusty trailer in the middle of like the California desert or wherever. And that's where you actually got that Oscar. You know what I mean? That's where you did the work and accomplished it. Even though we put a lot of focus on the moment of like, okay, now, please, like, come out in your gown and we're giving you this award and the red carpet and all the glamour. That's not where the work gets done. The work gets done, at 6 a.m. when you don't feel like it, when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you really would rather be anywhere else. And so I feel like that's kind of the stage for you guys. And then you will have that celebratory, like, excited period later. But we got the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, so it really is about abundant success coming in for you guys. We got victory and success as well. Prosperity begins. We have so many positive cards, and material and spiritual prosperity. So if you guys have been wanting a career reading, or been, working on a career thing, this is just confirmation that you're on the right path. I feel like some of you guys may have been looking for that path for a while, and now you're kind of on it and you're like, okay, and Spirit's just saying like, keep going, because I do think it's going to have the end result be like way huge success. And it's almost like kind of like, when you have to like work really hard in school for a period of time, like finals week or something, where everyone has to pull all-nighters and study all the time, and it's maybe not the most fun time, but then usually after finals week ends, you take all the tests, then everyone really goes crazy and parties. I feel like you guys will have, again, I'm not sure what it is, because I feel like the changes are going to be different for everyone, but there are going to be some exciting changes happening for you guys in 2022 in the new year, and it'll be different for each of you. But I think that for right now, it's just like this is that grind period beforehand, and then maybe the parties will take place later, but this is probably the most crucial time. This is like where you actually get it done. Like I said, you don't win the Oscar at the night of the ceremony. You win it in the months before, when you're grinding and putting in the work. So that's kind of what you guys are doing and working on. And I think that that's a really beautiful energy. This is a huge success energy. This is like Capricorn energy, which is, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and Mars is kind of what we look at for how someone will win a battle or how they'll achieve success, because it's, that kind of driving masculine force. And so for you guys, it's like, Capricorn is all about slow and steady. It's the mountain goat. It's all about kind of putting one foot in front of the other and very slowly finding each little, outcropping to like put their hoof on, and then they take another and step in another, and they just make their way up slowly. And there's so many other zodiac signs that are ruled by archetypes that are very fast, very quick, and the Capricorn is the one exalted in Mars, because that's the one that will give you the long-term success. That's the one that's all about slowness, because that's actually, even though we don't necessarily associate it, that slow and steady build is the most long-lasting success. And I feel like that's what you guys are building. So just have faith in what you guys are doing, even if it's not the glamorous moment of like going to the ball and accepting your reward. I feel like you guys are on the way to that. So yeah, even though it may not sound as exciting, it really is. This is like preparing you guys. This is the crucial time of really putting in that work that will so pay off later on. And I feel like it's already going to be paying off for some of you. You're already going to start seeing glimpses of it, but it's going to culminate even more in the new year. And a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of exciting, like really exciting stuff happen in the new year. So this is like kind of preparation. It's like the calm before the storm in like a really positive way, a happy storm, not a sad storm, like a really positive, or being dark before dawn or whatever. But it's not like it's a negative period. It's just maybe not the most exciting, but it's exciting in its own way. You know what I mean? And I feel like you guys will look back later like, wow, I'm so glad that I did that then. And I'm so glad that I put in that work, and wow, it's all paid off. And it's going to be like, yeah, like kind of like when you hear someone who's a big success and then they talk about, I think I was happiest when I was like living in my little studio apartment, and maybe it's like a famous actor and they're like, when I was going to auditions and I didn't know anyone and I was living in a tiny studio apartment and eating like canned beans for every meal, but I was the happiest. Like, I feel like that's kind of the vibe here, is like just contented work. And so that is such a powerful energy for abundance. And I know, and I can see here that it is going to pay off if it hasn't already. So yeah, this is great, you guys. This is a fantastic career reading. I didn't expect it to be so career focused, but that's kind of what Spirit is saying is going on for you guys. So I really hope that resonated. Please let me know if it did in the comments, guys. And also make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. I post every few days. So if you want to be notified whenever I do post, make sure the notifications are on. So yeah, I am sending you guys so much love and light, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you guys picked this orange pumpkin, this is going to be your reading. I just love this one. It's so perfect for fall, so festive, just definitely that traditional Halloween pumpkin. But let's get right into your reading. You picked some interesting cards, guys. You got the 10 of Pentacles reversed, the Magician, you got the 7 of Cups, you got the 9 of Cups, you got the King of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and the 7 of Swords reversed. So much cup energy coming through right away. I feel like you guys are kind of going to be a little bit, feeling things. Like, I feel like a lot of time for you, this would be a great time for manifestation or for getting clear on what direction you guys want to head in. Like, I feel like this is kind of the beginning to a journey to abundance. There may be some psychic visions coming through with the Magician, with the 7 of Cups, that kind of give you the insight onto what path to follow. I keep seeing like paths and hearing paths. It's kind of a difficult word to say, plural if you have a lisp, a little slight lisp like me, but paths, the plural of path. And so I feel like you guys, some of you guys may have been almost like confused on what path to follow. And for those of you who have been, I feel like you guys are going to get some clarity. There's going to be this psychic vision that happens, that I keep hearing the path appears. So I feel like for those of you who have been like, I don't know, maybe I want to manifest this, maybe I want to flip this 10 of Pentacles and become into my 10 of Pentacles or King of Pentacles energy, like that path is going to open up, and suddenly it's like you're lost in the forest, and suddenly, oh wait, I can go that way. For those of you who are already on your path, I feel like you're just going to be continuing down there. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is going to be some kind of growth period, spiritually, emotionally, where, a lot of like awareness happens. There's like a spiritual or psychic mental awareness that is going to happen, mental clarity. There's going to be something that enables you to see what direction you guys should head in, what direction is going to get you to the Nine of Cups energy, the Ten of Pentacles energy. So yeah, I feel like if there has been a lot of confusion also with the Seven of Swords reverse, some of that is going to go away. Like you guys are going to have a moment of like, oh, okay, so I just, if there's been some unsureness or weird, mental blocks, some of that stuff is going to start clearing away, and you guys are going to be aware of what direction you guys want to head in. So let's go into your other cards. We got material and spiritual prosperity, the waiting game, triumph, spiritual strength, destiny, wow, sacral chakra, obstacles and challenges, and victory and success. Oh my goodness gracious. So, oh, and I forgot one. Prosperity begins. That one, actually, I remember I was pulling and that one like fell out at the very end. I was like, what is this? And then I was like, I felt called by spirit to put it in, and I was like, oh, it kind of fits perfectly. But yeah, so I feel like this is the beginning of a prosperity path. This is the beginning of you guys. Like, we're not at the moment of culmination. We're not at that. We're not even, I feel like for some of you, this is the beginning of that journey. This is time for you guys to have some kind of spiritual awareness that's going to start coming through with destiny coming in. Like, you guys are on this really important path that is what your soul journey is supposed to be. So it's going to result in you guys getting to prosperity, getting to abundance. But I feel like for you guys, it's like, this is like it's not like you guys are finished. It's not like you guys are at that moment of total victory, total like, okay, I did it, I'm done, I finished, it's over. This is more along the lines, I'm getting the feeling of like being on the beginning of it or being in the middle of it, but not having the journey be over. You know what I mean? I feel like for a lot of you, maybe there's something you've been confused about, and there's going to be just incredible clarity. That happened for me recently where like spirit, sometimes people think like spiritual people and psychics and stuff and tarot readers, like we can get, all the answers. And a lot of times we can, but there's certain things spirit will block for us until the right time, where it's like you may be asking for a certain answer and it doesn't come through because the moment isn't right. And then it's so funny. It's kind of like at the correct moment, it's like the floodgates open and then you're like, oh my God, yes, exactly that, and that something like that happened to me recently where I was like, really, I had this inkling of something was going to come. And I didn't have any idea. I kind of knew the area, but I was like, I don't know what this is. And I knew I was going to like find out kind of soon, but I was like, And then it happened and it was like, oh my God, okay, oh, okay. And I just feel like I love those moments where suddenly it's like all the puzzle pieces just click together. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're lost and then suddenly you just see that trail and you're like, that's the way I need to go. Oh my God, yes. And it's almost like it was there the whole time, but for whatever reason, it wasn't the right timing. So much of this life is about timing, and you guys got the waiting game, which says to me that there is an aspect of time involved in this. There is an aspect of, maybe things being held up for reasons you might not understand. A lot of times we get frustrated of like, well, it's supposed to be happening now. Why isn't it happening? And it's like, because things have to be lined up correctly. There's so many times in my life when like I feel like the timing is one of the most crucial things. And there's been so many times when I have been like, why isn't this happening? And then when it takes place, I'm like, oh, that's exactly why this needed to line up, that needed to take place. And if it had happened any earlier or at a different time, it wouldn't have happened as smoothly, it wouldn't have happened as perfectly, or it might not have happened at all. I mean, life is kind of complicated. There's so many different factors that go into place. I'm seeing like a clock. You know how like the inner workings of like a really nice, expensive watch or a giant grandfather clock, and they'll like open it up, and there's like that wheel clicking around and there's all these knobs. And that's why if someone's like watch breaks, it can be expensive to fix because they have to go in and like tune this and move that and fix that. And like, there's so many different odds and ends and components, that have to be taking place for that watch to be operating correctly. And you might think like, okay, it's like, who cares? But like, it's just a watch. It's just, a telling time. It shouldn't be that complicated, but it just is. You need all these different little components working correctly for it to happen. And that's kind of like life. Like, even though we may be taking care of one thing, there's a lot of other factors on the other end that need to be taking place. So maybe you want to meet your soulmate, but maybe your soulmate is in a relationship with someone else. Maybe that relationship is the turning point for them, where they'll be like, oh my God, I really want to date someone like this. I'm never going to tolerate this kind of behavior. I would love to find someone who has XY quality. And maybe if they'd met you earlier, they would have been like, oh, they wouldn't have appreciated you in the same way. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe the reason why you haven't met the person yet is because they need to go through that relationship, and it all needs to be lined up in the right way. Or maybe they're going to switch jobs, move to your city. Like, all these things need to happen for, something we're manifesting to take place. And I feel like a lot of times also, it's mental clarity, where, spirit will keep certain things from us for a certain reason, because maybe the timing's off, or we're just not supposed to focus on it right away, And so I feel like maybe for you guys, there is this moment of clarity that's going to be coming in. And there's this moment of awareness where you're like, that's the direction I'm supposed to head. Okay, I know what to do now. I do feel like there may be some testing on this path, but that you guys will have the spiritual strength to withstand it. I don't feel like I'm not saying tests like, oh my God, it's going to be absolutely horrible, but I do feel like there are going to be some tests later on. I feel like now, you guys, this is just kind of about setting out on that journey, starting to move. Like, I feel like many of you guys, there may have been some confusion about which way do I turn? What direction do I head? How do I fulfill my life destiny? I know for me, it took me a while to kind of figure out what, like, it sometimes we know we're supposed to head in a certain direction, but you don't know how, or you don't know what exactly it's going to be, or you have inklings. And then I think, like, Oprah wrote a book called The Path Appears, and I just love that quote, because I feel like that's so true of how things happen, where it's just like, oh, I can do that. And it just kind of all makes sense. And I feel like you guys are going to have one of those clarity moments where it's like, that's the direction I'm supposed to head. So we also got Come to the Edge, Higher Power, Never Ending Story, Chaos and Conflict, and Serendipity. Oh, and TikTok. So another reference to time. And I did mention watches or clocks, and it's funny, there's a picture of exactly the kind of watch I was talking about, like one of those old-fashioned clocks. So I feel like, yeah, there's this aspect of time, or about maybe you guys don't understand what's going on, or what's delaying certain things right now. Maybe it might seem for some of you like you're in a holding pattern, or like things are stagnant, or things are at a standstill, or things aren't moving ahead, or things are stuck. And I feel like I have been there before, where I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, Spirit, I've been waiting on this. Why am I in this situation? And later on, I realized that was exactly where I was supposed to be, because, like, you learn so much sometimes from difficult situations. If you guys are around people that cause chaos and conflict, or you're kind of stuck in a situation that it just doesn't seem like it's moving forward, maybe it's not that bad, but it's just like, what is happening? This is so stagnant. I feel like all of this is for a reason. And I feel like you guys are going to start seeing this forward momentum happening during fall. Like, I feel like for many of you guys, maybe this has been the energy where it's like, why isn't it moving forward? Why are my manifestations working? With the Magician card, that can speak about like manifestation work. So maybe some of you guys have been trying to manifest or doing manifestation ritual stuff, and it's like, what, is it not working? Is it not happening? And I'm hearing from Spirit that they've gotten your message, they've received it, and that they're working on it, and they're arranging things like correctly. It's kind of like before you have a party, like you have to, arrange the flowers and bake the cake and make the food and get the alcohol or the drinks lined up and decorate and clean the house, and there's a million different things you have to get done, send out the invitations for it to be like a good party, you know what I mean? And that's kind of Spirit, like behind the scenes, they're like that catering staff that's like furiously cooking stuff up and like making the garlic mashed potatoes and, you know, roasting the chicken and putting the hors d'oeuvres together, and you're like the wealthy hostess at the party that's like, what is taking so long? Oh my God, you know what I mean? But like, even though you can't see it, doesn't mean that's not going on behind the scenes. It doesn't mean that stuff isn't happening. It just means that it's not ready to be presented and served to you quite yet. Like the garlic mashed potatoes, they need a little more time on the stove, maybe a little more butter, salt and pepper, but they will be ready to be served, but they're just not perfect yet. And wouldn't you rather have them perfect? Like, you don't want to be eating raw mashed potatoes. I actually ate a little bit of raw potato once when I was like camping, and I like tried to cook it over a fire, and it didn't work, and it was so nasty. I have never had anything nastier. And then I was like Googling, like, can I eat a raw potato, because I was really hungry, and you can't even eat them, because like they have to be cooked, I guess, to be digested well or something. As far as what I read, it wasn't digestible raw. Maybe, I don't know, maybe some people can eat it raw, but the point is, you gotta wait for it to be finished cooking. You don't want to eat some nasty raw potato that like isn't seasoned, isn't cooked, is cold. You guys want to make sure for it to be hot and ready. And I feel like that's what Spirit is doing in your life right now. And I feel like you guys are going to have that moment of clarity of like, oh, that's what was taking so long. That's what I was waiting for. I honestly feel like some of you guys may be like, so is this telling me I have to wait more? And it's like, kinda, because I feel like you guys are going to get that realization. But I'm saying that like that realization is going to happen in this fall. I don't think this period of waiting is going to be going on like indefinitely through next year and, you know, into 2022. And, you know, it's not like that kind of a stagnancy. It's kind of like back to this metaphor, but like the potatoes are almost done. They need like 5 more minutes, but we're close. We're close to that moment of revelation. And the thing is, for me, that I've noticed is usually once I get the revelation of like what's going to happen, things tend to pick up a lot faster, because I feel like Spirit holds things back until they're ready. Sometimes Spirit will give us like an inkling beforehand, but most of the time when we get the full realization, it's pretty close to being finished. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's been a few times when I've had like a spiritual vision like months beforehand, but for the most part, I get that moment of like, oh, that's what was going on right before we spring into action. So I feel like for you guys, if there's been stagnancy, if you guys have felt stuck, that's about to shift and change, and things are going to start moving forward. And there's so many cards here like higher power and serendipity that are talking about Spirit's involvement in your life. And we got destiny as well. Like, I feel like, we got sacral chakra, but I feel like, yeah, Spirit just wants you to know that they are really directly involved in this. If you're kind of thinking like, okay, my manifestations aren't working, Spirit isn't listening, my guides, they deserted me, they're gone, they're out getting drinks or something, they left. No, they're still there. They are still working for you guys. Again, they are actually working hard, I'm hearing, to like put this stuff together. I actually, you know what? It's so weird. It's so weird, the serendipity, speaking of serendipity, but that happens before like the readings. I'll always get these little visions right before the readings, and then they come up. But I was literally saying the other day to my guides, I was like talking about something that, again, I said I had some clarity on a situation in my life. And anyway, I was talking to my guides about it, and I was like, you guys, like, I'm sorry that I was so impatient. And I would get mad, and I would be like really impatient about stuff. And I would be like, I can't believe this. Like, you guys aren't helping in this situation. And it's so funny because now I'm like, oh my gosh, it was the perfect timing. It was exactly how it was supposed to happen. And I can't believe, like, it seems almost funny now in retrospect that the whole time I was like freaking out and being like, oh my God, why isn't this shifting? And it's just so funny how that works. Like, I feel like you guys are gonna have a moment like that where it's just like, oh my God, I almost like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I can't believe I acted that way. You know how like if you go out drinking and you like act a little crazy the night before and then you wake up the next day and you're like, I said what? Oh, sorry about that. Like, I feel like that's almost like the energy where you guys are going to be like, oh, I didn't mean that. Sorry guys. Okay. Like the like hostess who freaks out at the waitstaff and is like, you guys aren't working. And then they're like, we have these garlic mashed potatoes. They're ready. Sorry that I keep obsessing over garlic mashed potatoes, but anyway, just for this metaphor, like, know that they are hard at work in the kitchen putting things together, and I feel like you guys are going to be so happy when it gets revealed. Like, Spirit is just wanting you to know with so many of the cards that they are putting in the work. They are very much have their hand in this. If you feel abandoned or there's a feeling of like, where are you? You guys left. No, they are directly involved and very close to this situation. So we got strategy, goddess of the moon, man holding a coin, sixth chakra, archangel Metatron, and the garden and the gate. So again, strategy. Like, I feel like all of this is happening like how it's supposed to. And after all, we want our guides to be strategic. We don't want them to just be like, sure, whatever. I mean, oh, you wanted to win $1 million? Okay, fine. Like, we want them to give us what they know is good for us, not what we want, you know, because it's like, we're only humans. We're mere mortals, and they have like a kind of bird's eye view. Like, when you go up, you know, sometimes we're trying to like drive through our neighborhood and we're like, what turn? Where do I go? Okay, I need to follow that. And you're like glued to the map, you know what I mean? And you're like, you have no idea kind of where you're supposed to head, and it all seems very confusing. And then when you go up in an airplane and you fly over like your area, you're like, oh, that's so easy. Oh, I didn't know it was so close to me. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we want our guides to take over. We don't want, as much as we may think that we want our guides to just give us whatever we ask for, it's so much better when like they decide. You know, I feel like of course we can ask and try to manifest specific things, and they love that. They love it when we give them direction of like, I really want this. But I feel like, you know, they often know best of like what exactly would serve us. So it's good for them to decide like, yes, you get that or not. I feel like there's so many stories of people that win the lottery and then they go broke, or, you know, they think they want this kind of a thing and it happens and then they're like, this is horrible. Like, they want to be famous and then they become totally miserable or something. So the thing is that you guys should know that as much as you guys may be frustrated with stagnation, like, this is all very strategic. Your guides are running this very like purposefully, you know what I mean? This is not a coincidence, and it's not like they just forgot and it was like, oh my god, we're running late on her. Oh my god, I don't think, yeah, I forgot about her. I've been managing other people, so anyway, she's just gonna be broke for life because we forgot. Like, you know what I mean? That's not how like Spirit, that's not how God works. They don't just accidentally randomly mess stuff up. So they are being strategic. I know it may be hard to remember that when everything is happening to you, you know, I get it. I've gotten mad at my guides and stuff. So I totally get it, but they want you to know that they are really, I feel like they're so close to you with Goddess of the Moon. I feel like they are just telling you that they are so close to you. And I asked for one final clarity card because I had to kind of delay. I pulled cards, then I had a little bit of delay before I did the reading. And so right before, I was like, let me pull one more card just to clarify, and it was the High Priestess reversed, and I was like, okay, I'm not really sure how this is going to come up, and I just put it back. I was like, okay, but I'll just keep that in mind. And I'm thinking of that again. Like, I feel like maybe they are saying with the High Priestess reversed that even though you have been manifesting, like, you haven't been fully understanding or hearing from them. Maybe sometimes when we, you know, don't hear or get direct evidence of what our guides are doing, we can get very frustrated with them and we can kind of block them. Like, it's like, I don't even want to hear what you have to say because you're not helping me. So, and you don't want to listen to them. But I feel like if you guys opened up and just really gave time to meditate, you would be able to feel their presence so close to you. Because I'm really feeling and seeing that they are so close. Like, they're really close to you. I mean, obviously everyone's guides, they stay close to us, but I feel like during certain times they really like get really close. They really focus and fixate on us. And for you guys, I'm just feeling they're so close to you. Like they're with you 24/7. They're never taking breaks. They're on the clock all the time. So yeah, I feel like you guys should know that. Like even though sometimes you may not feel that way, they are really close to you, with you, working with you. I know it's hard to see when you haven't seen the manifestation and you're just kind of standing in the desert like, hello, is anyone here? Is anything happening? But they really are working for you guys. 6th chakra Archangel Metatron talks about like, he's kind of like the record keeper. And so he keeps track of everything that's going on. And I feel like they just want you to know, it's like they're right over your shoulder. They are with you. They are working on the stuff and they are trying to make stuff happen. With man holding a coin, like again, this is going to lead to ultimately financial abundance and the kind of lifestyle that you guys want to live. I'm not sure for the exact timeline for everyone because it's going to be different since this is a general reading. And again, I just keep seeing this path. And so people are going to be on different places on the path. Some people are going to be towards the end, some people in the middle, and some people at the very beginning, you know? Some people haven't even gotten on the path yet. But it's like the end destination is the same. This man holding the coin and financial abundance, which has come up so much in this reading. So like, just know that even if you guys feel like, what is going on? Why hasn't it happened? What is this? And it's stagnant. No, it's not. It's actually moving forward a lot. It's like, you know, I've also worked in law, and a lot of times like, you know, you don't contact the client unless you have some big break on the case. So sometimes you get clients that are like, hello, are you guys doing anything? Like, what's going on? And it's like, yeah, we are. We're going through a ton of files. We're analyzing it. We're putting stuff together. And we'll present it to you once we have, like, we're not going to call you like every 5 minutes and be like, I just read a new paper. I just finished this paper. I just finished going through file number 2. I just wanted to update you. Like, you know, obviously we're not going to update you all the time. We're going to call you when it's something really big and really huge. So I feel like they want you to know that you are going to get insight into this once something really huge happens. And my candle is going absolutely crazy. So I feel like they really want you to know this, that, you know, just because you haven't seen it, just because you don't know what's going on, doesn't mean it's not happening. And there's going to be a moment of clarity in this autumn season where you guys are going to be like, that's what it is. And things are going to start shifting and moving forward. But I just think they really want you to know that they haven't abandoned you guys. They are still so close to you. I'm hearing that they really love you. They do care about you, and they are watching out for you and taking care of you so strongly. They really are like right over your shoulder is what I'm seeing. So I want you guys to know that, because I feel like a lot of you guys doubt that or get frustrated or feel very alone. There's no need to feel alone, because they're like closer to you than like they're like spending extra time around you, on you, to be honest. I hate to say that. No offense to anyone who's not in this pile, but hopefully they're not watching anyway. But like, yeah, they are very focused on you guys, and they want you to know how much they like care about you. And I'm not trying to get mushy, but this is just what's coming through, and how much they are working and prioritizing. And you know, if things are really dark and stuff, for some of you, like, it is going to improve. It is going to shift. They are lining things up, and they're also keeping track of like the karma, because it's funny, I started mentioning Metatron, and that's when the candle went crazy, absolutely crazy. Like, I've never seen a candle act like this before. So I feel like Metatron is very close to you. And also the thing about Metatron is he keeps track of the karmic records and like keeps track of basically how you engage in spiritual situations. So if there have been people who have been really cruel to you, I feel like you guys should know that all of that is being watched. They see it, they know what's going on, they're keeping track of all the records. And if you guys have had to go through hardship and you guys have had to be really stoic and had to be really strong, they see your strength and they really appreciate it. And it's like, that's all going to be taken into account and all be rewarded. It's kind of like, again, when you're working on a legal case and maybe you have the case almost lined up, but you don't call that client until you have it all ready to go, because you don't want to call them and have them be asked, like, and so you finish with that and it's like, oh, well, not really, we're kind of working on it, we had to leave early and then we didn't finish it, like, you know, because no one wants to hear that. So you wait until it's all perfect, until everything's on point, and that's when you make the call, and that's when you let them know, like, hey, we just had this big break and you're gonna love this. So I feel like you guys should know that. So there's just like this need for patience, I guess, with you guys, or need for you guys to have faith that things are progressing. So we also got illumination, leadership, success, standstill, and going forward. Wow, I love these cards, and standstill and then going forward are sticking out so much to me. I feel like things may feel like they're at a standstill, but this is the ultimate card, and it really sums up so much of what I was talking about with the path. Like, I feel like you guys are going to be on that path, and it may seem like things aren't moving forward, but they really are, and they are going to be moving forward, especially this season, this August, and with illumination coming up. Like, I feel like you guys are going to have so many revelations of what's going on. I don't know what this candle is doing. It's kind of freaking me out. I always have the craziest stuff happen during my readings. I swear, like, the power goes out and all this. Anyway, I feel like for some of you guys, yeah, there is going to be that moment of illumination, of revelation, of like, oh, that's what it is. Some of you guys may have like, I'm getting like a lower vibrational energy attached to you. I don't know what this is. Some of you guys may have something kind of like nasty attached to you guys, and that might be why there's a lot of angels around you, or you might be around nasty people, low vibrational people, in which case I'm hearing like, be careful. So some of you guys, if there's people around you that are very negative, very depressive, I'm almost feeling like some people may have it out for you, or I don't know, have bad intentions towards you. Just be very careful. Prioritize yourself, and also speak to yourself in a positive way to uplift yourself, because I'm hearing that it could be dangerous if you guys let yourself get into a depressive energy where you're playing into some of this negative thought patterns. It's almost like you guys are being tested, and some of this is not like divine testing. It's like there's other forces at play in this universe. So some of this testing could be from negative forces. And what I'm hearing from your guides and stuff is they want you to be very self-reliant, like self-propelling yourself forward. Like, don't give into it. Don't listen to it. And if you guys can go into a spiral of negative self-talk of like, oh, I'm such a loser, or I'm such an idiot, or something like that, or like things are never going to work out for me, like, you need to cut that out, because it really could be dangerous, is what I'm hearing. Is they want you guys to just completely stop that, totally stop, put a direct stop to it. I know for me, I have gotten into a habit of like, if I don't really do it to myself at all anymore, but there was a time when I would do the same thing, or I would be like, oh, well, of course you'd mess that up, or something negative, like, or, well, yeah, of course they don't really like you, or something like that. And what I learned is to talk back to that voice. So if I say that to myself, if that randomly would pop up now, which it really doesn't anymore, but if I would hear like, well, they're pretending to be your friend, they don't really like you or something, I'd be like, well, who are you? And what do you think? How would you know? Like, I mean, who made you the expert? Excuse me, you sound extremely nasty. I don't think anyone would want to hang out with you. You know what I mean? Obviously, I know I sound crazy, like talking to myself. Obviously, I don't do it out loud, but just, I feel like mentally telling that voice to shut the heck up and cutting that stuff out is so powerful, because some of you guys, it could be very dangerous for you to get into this habit of self-criticism, and they really want you to stop. I'm seeing someone be like, so it's like they want you to tap down on yourself, be disciplined, don't let yourself spiral into a negative space, because it could be dangerous, is what I'm hearing. And it's so funny, after I delivered this message, the candle just stopped flickering finally. So I feel like that was what they wanted me to say. Whew, kind of intense, but anyway, yeah, so a lot of you guys, you might need to work on that. But so we got wide open, making a choice, solitude, details, and commitment. So again, with the details and the, they are doing very specific stuff. Like it's like the strategy card where, they are taking care of like those finishing touches and stuff. And again, it may seem to you guys like you've been abandoned or they're not working for you, but they really are. And you guys are, while it may feel sometimes like you're alone, they are just arranging things for you. They are working with you so closely. They are with you. I find a lot of times when someone is close to their destiny, they can truly get attacked by negative spiritual forces that don't want them to serve a higher purpose and to really spread light into this world. So if that's something you guys are feeling like really down and you guys haven't had, like you just feel like you're kind of stuck in the desert or stuck in the mud or like nothing's ever going to get better, make sure to have positive self-talk or maybe do conscious efforts to raise your vibration or cleanse your aura or take salt baths. But that energy, if it's attacking you, that's a sign that you guys are close to your destiny. And I think you guys are. This card also says clarity. If you can see under that microscope, it says clarity, important notes. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll try to get it really close. But yeah. So you guys have clarity coming to you super strong. And that is going to really, I feel like, put everything in perspective. And you're going to have so much awareness of like, that's why it happened. I keep getting that thing where like, how there's like a parable or something that's like, but I think this is applicable to everyone in this reading, regardless of your religion. Just this is the metaphor that I'm getting of like that story that's in like Christian, literature and stuff of like a man was walking along the beach and Jesus shows up and then he says to Jesus like, I can't believe you didn't help me. I've been, struggling for so long and you totally abandoned me and I had no one. And I've been struggling along this beach all by myself. And Jesus was like, I was with you the whole time. And he turns around and there's only one set of footprints. And then he's like, there's one set of footprints. You weren't, I was alone. And then Jesus says, I was carrying you. So obviously, you don't have to be Christian to go with that, or you don't have to necessarily think it's Jesus. Maybe it could work for your religion or just with the guides and, spirit. But I feel like for you guys, you should know that you guys do have so much spiritual people on your team that are supporting you, that are working for you. And there's going to be a moment of clarity in autumn where it's like, oh, this is the path. This is what I was supposed to do. And there's so much paths. I can't say it plural, but there's so many paths that come up on these cards. Like even this, like I feel like there's just going to be so much clarity that comes through. And it's almost like it's all going to be worth it. When it happens, you're going to be like, oh my God, yes. And you're going to be glad that it took the amount of time it did, because it's going to be that worth it in the end. I feel like there's just, with wide open and commitment, like there's this long-term beautiful stuff that's coming to you. And you're going to be open for it and receive it. And it's going to be such a blessing. And with commitment, it's going to be long term. It's not going to be some short term. Like, this is why it's taking a while, is because it really is a really good blessing. So I know, I get it. Like, I have been there where you're kind of lost in the desert and you're like, what the heck are you guys doing? You must have totally abandoned me. But that's not what happens. And I realized it at the end. I was like, oh my God, they were arranging it better than I could have ever dreamed. So, just know that, you guys, that I feel like this is going to so pay off in the end. So we finally got sanctuary, cave, stone people, vigilance, and wind activation. So yeah, even though I feel like sometimes you guys may feel like this guy, like just stuck in a cave, like, oh my God, I'm never going to come out into the sunshine. It's never going to work out. I'm just completely stuck. It's like, it's going to make sense. You're going to have a moment of clarity. I know that. In autumn, I feel like you guys are going to get clarity about your path. You're going to have a moment of activation where it's like, boom, that's the direction I need to head. And it's like suddenly all the puzzle pieces fit into place, or the scales fall off your eyes, or you couldn't see and then you put on glasses. Like, I love those videos of the like someone who can't see or has really bad vision, and then they give them glasses and they suddenly can see. And a lot of times the people cry, or they're just like overwhelmed with emotion because it's like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And it's like, you guys are going to have that moment with the path where it's like, this is so much better than I thought. I'm so overwhelmed. And I feel like you guys are going to really have a moment of joy. Like, honestly, it's going to be like, this is what you guys had in store for me. I can't believe it. I'm so happy with it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you guys are going to have that moment of fulfillment of like, okay, we reached the end and everything worked out, but it's going to be like, I know where I'm headed. I know what I have in store. I know what direction to go. And that in itself is like, that moment is going to be everything. And then I feel like, again, many of you may be different places on this path, but you're going to be propelled forward. A lot of the work you've been doing, a lot of the hardship you guys have been dealing with has already put you further on the path, because we already got Metatron who takes notes about how we handle situations. So it's like they already see all you have had to put up with. And so that is going to put you ahead in that kind of karmic bank of like, oh, they've already been through a lot of tests and trials. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, maybe you try out, like it's like someone who's an athlete and maybe they didn't try at a certain sport before, but they're a really good athlete already. They have a ton of muscle from working out. And so maybe they've never done like a specific, you know, like I heard about the girl who she won wrestling for the USA. I forget her name. I love her. She's so like positive, but she won wrestling for the USA this year. So I don't know, you could look that up if you're curious. And I think she said that like when she went into wrestling as a teenager, she didn't want to do it. She was like, what the heck is this? Like, why would I want to wrestle with someone else and be sweaty with them? She'd never done it. And it was like 10th grade or something, but she was already strong. She was already really fit. And anyway, it just took a couple games and she was like doing so well, and she beat like some huge champion, and then she was like, oh, I'm really good at this. And so she kept doing it, and she was already put ahead because she had this natural gift. She'd already built muscle. She already was strong. So someone else may have had to like work for years and months to get to that level, and she was already beating state championships. You know what I mean? So I feel like for you guys, even though you're like, I'm at the beginning of the path, it's like, no, it's gonna happen a lot faster, because you guys have already been through a lot. You guys have already been grinding and putting in work in a different way, but it's like, yeah, you have been dealing with a lot of opposition, so you have a lot of spiritual strength worked up. You're already on this path. They've seen everything that's gone down, and they know what you guys have had to deal with, so you guys are going to be kind of fast-tracked a little bit. So, you know, they keep the records, and that's what Metatron rules, so they want you to know that. They've seen it all, and I think you guys have such a beautiful thing that's happening this autumn. So it's really exciting. It's really beautiful. And I think that everything is going to kind of improve. And I feel like 2022, I'm just intuitively, this is not like a 2022 reading, but I do think like this is such a positive direction you guys are heading. So I really, really hope that helped you guys. I'm sending you guys so much love and light. Keep your chins up. Keep fighting. One of my favorite quotes, if you're going through hell, keep going, by Winston Churchill. You know, sometimes that's what it is. You just got to keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you will get out of it. And you guys will be on that path to abundance that you guys have coming towards you, and success, prosperity, and all the good things. So I really hope that helped. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. I post every few days. If you want to see more, make sure you're subbed, guys. I will see you guys in the next reading, and I am sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4. So if you guys picked this yellow pumpkin, this is going to be your reading. It's really cute, perfect for that fall season, maybe Thanksgiving, something like that. But let's get right into your reading, guys. So you pulled the Ace of Cups reversed, the Ace of Wands reversed, Page of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Three of Pentacles reversed, the Four of Wands, the Six of Cups, Page of Wands reversed, and finally the Two of Cups. So wow. So first of all, what's coming in really strong is romance. We got a lot of cards having to do with that. We've got the Lovers, we've got the Four of Wands, we've got the Six of Cups, and we've got the Two of Cups. So, for some of you guys, this might be someone from your past returning. We did get the Six of Cups, which can indicate kind of like a childhood, innocent type of love, or like a first love. Maybe the first, like maybe you dated before, but this was the first person that made you feel really in love, and like almost that feeling of like young love or being in love for the first time. So that may be coming back into your life. We have two ace reversals, which can sometimes indicate that like this isn't something new. You know what I mean? This isn't a fresh start. This is something from the past. But I mean, for some of you, it could be meeting someone new. It's just depending on what resonates. But I feel like this could be also, for many of you, someone returning from your past, or maybe, if you're already in a relationship or something like that. So wherever you guys are, apply it. But I just feel like the romance is the main theme of something coming in. I almost feel like there's also an energy of you guys taking stock of certain things that you guys have been doing. It could be other relationships, or it could be business type stuff or career stuff. And it's almost like you're like, you know what, this isn't working. I want to change tactics. So for some of you, it might be like, okay, maybe it's like, you were in a relationship with someone, you were in love, that relationship crashed and burned or didn't work out, but you never lost feelings for the person, you dated someone else. I mean, we are getting Three of Pentacles reversed, and it is a 3 card, so it could indicate that like you got involved with someone else, or they got involved with someone else. And then now you're like, you know what, it's just not the same. It's not the same as the feelings I had for this person. So they might be coming back into your life and approaching you with some kind of an offer, or this might be meeting someone new. But I just feel like there's this taking stock of certain things you guys have been doing and being like, no, it's not working for me. No, that was the wrong path, and kind of rerouting yourself. But I did clarify with Spirit, like I was like, so let me pull one more card, and that's when the Two of Cups came out. So you guys got the soulmate card. So this is why, it's kind of intense for just like a fall reading. I wasn't like expecting to do a soulmate reading. But yeah, so I mean, this is like someone that you would feel strongly about. This is not someone that it's like, yeah, they're okay. They're like a fun person to date, or they're just sexy. Actually, the Ace of Wands is reversed. So sometimes, the Ace of Wands can be like a sexy card. And so I feel like they're just saying like, this isn't just about a sexual attraction. This is about deep feelings. This is a deep connection. So again, it's kind of a lot for just an autumn reading card, but this is someone that you would be feeling very strongly about, or someone that the feelings are going to be very deep. You are not just going to be like, oh yeah, they're okay, I wouldn't mind dating them for a while. This is going to be someone that you are going to be very attached to, that you are going to have definite feelings for. So other cards we got are the Thinking Man, All Tied Up, Second Chakra Archangel Ariel, the Temple Path, and Contract. So yeah, you know what? I feel like with All Tied Up, this really could be someone from your past coming back. This could be someone that you never really lost those feelings for. And it's like, even though you technically moved on, you still were very attached to them. Like you weren't fully moving on. This also could indicate that even if they're not coming directly back into your life, like they're not stepping forward, which they might, because we got the Page of Pentacles, and you guys got an interesting combination of cards, honestly, with the Ace of Cups reversed and the Three of Pentacles reversed, and then the Ace of Wands reversed. Like, I just feel like maybe this could have been a situation in which like both of you guys or one of the other tried to move on, was like, I'm trying something else, screw that. And it's like, now they're like, oh, that didn't work out. And they're kind of realizing that they're never going to have those same feelings for everyone else. So now they're kind of doubling back, and they're kind of like trying to take this more slow and steady with the Page of Pentacles. They're trying to be, maybe there was like impetuousness. Ace of Wands can indicate like it's fire, and it can be very, like aggressive and also very sexual. And Ace of Cups can be like overwhelming emotion. You guys might have had that relationship, those kinds of relationships that are like super passionate, where your emotions are so in it and it's like screaming and crying and you're obsessed with the person. And as much as that can be like the most amazing, compelling relationship, it's not necessarily the best for like a long-term future. Like, you don't necessarily want to bring kids around that type of energy, and it can crash and burn because, there's too much emotion involved, and one person says something and the other person flies off the handle and they take it more to heart because their emotions are so invested. And like, maybe there's a huge sexual attraction, but it's almost like too potent, too much energy, too much fire, and too just very explosive. And this might indicate someone coming back with like, okay, it's time for me to take it slow and steady. It's time for me to approach it in more of like an earthy, long-term type of way, not just the passion and the emotion and feeling everything, but more about like, okay, let's make sure this has a calm energy. Let's make sure this has long-term potential. Let's make sure that this really isn't going to like burn out because we're obsessed with each other and one person gets their feelings hurt because they're so obsessed, and then they do something chaotic, and then the other person does something chaotic, and like one of those just domino relationships. I feel like those relationships are super intense and often indicative of soulmate. Sorry about that, guys. I got interrupted, but as I was saying, I feel like a lot of times in those soulmate relationships, things can be really volatile because emotions run high. You care about that person more than anyone else you've ever met in your life. Their opinion matters more to you. So like maybe someone else could be like, oh yeah, you look fine in that outfit, and it's not going to be a big deal. But like your soulmate says it and you're like, well, what the heck does that mean? Fine. Like, and it just sets you off. Like those kinds of situations can happen when you care about someone so much and really value their opinion, where it's like, just like a tsunami of emotions coming through, where, it just may started as a ripple, but just because of the level of intensity, it turns into a tsunami, So I feel like for you guys, it may be that both of you had time to reflect and realize that, the Ace of Cups reversed, there was too much emotion, and the Ace of Wands reversed, there was too much sexuality, there was too much passion. And maybe it's okay to like dial it back a bit and try to be more intentional and try to manage your emotions a little bit better, and like, take a little bit of a step back from it. So I feel like, and it's funny, it just started storming while I was having, the interruption happen, and I was thinking like, that is so perfect for this reading, because I feel like maybe there could have been storms that separated you guys, or misunderstandings or something, where it's like one of those relationships where it's just so intense, kind of like, there's relationships that seem like a bright, happy, sunny day, and then days that, relationships where it seems like the most intense rainstorm. But I don't know, I love the rain, so to me that's like a compliment, but it's just like, it's a lot to deal with, you know what I mean? And I feel like also we just got the thinking man. It might have been that your counterpart especially has had time to reflect and has had time to process things, and you yourself as well have had time to just kind of been thinking about things. And it's like you guys have had this mental connection going back and forth, and now you're both kind of stuck on the other with all tied up. Some of you guys may have had a soul contract with this person, with contract. So it may be something that like you guys met each other and instantly had a knowing of each other, instantly had this instant connection. And also, if you guys haven't met someone like this, or you're like, I don't know who you're talking about, this might be someone you guys are going to meet. But for a lot of you, I feel like this person might be from your past making a re-entrance, or it's just that your connection is still going so strong that they're popping up in this reading as, the current situation. So yeah, with Temple Path, I feel like a lot of this is very spiritually fated. A lot of it is going on the astral plane. A lot of this may be like discussions and interactions that are taking place on more of a psychic level. But this person could be reappearing in your life. I feel like there's a lot of energy of them thinking about you. And I mean, we got the Lovers, we got the Two of Cups, we got the Six of Cups. Like, this is very intense. And the Four of Wands, this is very intense romance energy for sure. I mean, the Four of Wands can represent marriage. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I mean, if you do have a wedding, if you're scheduled to get married at that time, then, you know, that definitely bodes well for the wedding because it's a deep connection. But for those of you who don't have that on the calendar, I feel like that's maybe this connection still popping through from the past. So we also got Observer, Round and Round, Chop Wood, Unfinished Symphony, and A Change in the Wind. So it's really interesting. Round and Round and A Change in the Wind are kind of opposite cards because Round and Round talks about a dynamic that's been going on for a long time that's just kind of stayed the same patterns, the same situation, like we're just going around and nothing's changing. And then we have A Change in the Wind, which is like such a contrast and talking about something switching up. So I feel like there may have been, that's why I really think this person may be coming back. Like, it's almost like they're sick of it. You know what I mean? They're sick of this situation not having a resolution and just continuously having to think of you. So it's like there may be, you know, that text that they finally send or some kind of stepping forward. But I feel like there may be some kind of a change in this relationship that you have. For some of you, it might even be that, like, I feel like for some of you guys, I'm getting a vibe that there's been a third party introduced into this situation. I'm not sure how. It could have been, you know, you got a new partner, they got a new partner, or that might be something that's going to be happening where it's like suddenly you find out that they started dating a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend, or, you know, maybe they got engaged or something like that, or even a wedding. But it's funny because if they are, they're definitely still thinking of you, and definitely there's still a deep connection. And I have seen it many times where, like, someone's in love with someone else and they get married sometimes as an attempt to take their mind off it or try to, I don't know, to prove to the world, like, I'm over it, I'm over this person. So it does happen. So don't take that as like, okay, so it's over. It's like, not really. I mean, soul contracts don't really work that way. You can't just like get out of them that easily. So you can marry someone else. It's not really the wisest strategy to, you know, deal with something like that. But I just feel like there's going to be some shift in this relationship. Maybe it's that new information comes to you, you learn something about the person, like something that would be meaningful or impactful, not like, oh, you learn their favorite, you know, food is ice cream, but more like along the lines of you learn that they're dating someone new, or you learn that they moved to somewhere that may mean something, like either really far away or really close by. But there's going to be some kind of impactful, I feel like, change that happens in this dynamic, some new information or some kind of just shift. With Unfinished Symphony, I feel like both of you guys feel like this just isn't over. Like, it ain't over till it's over. That's what I'm hearing. Or, you know, that line from The Notebook where Ryan Gosling says, it wasn't over, it still isn't over. Like, I always hear that in my mind when there is that soulmate relationship that's still really going strong even through a no contact situation. For some of you guys, this might be someone you're actively involved with, but, you know, then everything's just hunky-dory, I feel like, and maybe there'll be some new information in the relationship, some new information or some kind of a shift in this relationship, some kind of a, I don't know, like, I feel like this shift is going to a lot of times make things more serious in either direction. Like, either it's going to bring out some real negative emotions in you, like, oh my God, I can't believe they have a new serious girlfriend, boyfriend, or oh, like, okay, they want to take it to more commitment. But I feel like there's like an aspect of more commitment or something being ramped up somehow. So either with you or with someone else, and of course take it how it resonates. But I feel like there may be some information that you become privy to, and this person may be stepping forward towards you. If it's no contact, I think it's going to resonate differently. But this is, it's almost like this person has been watching you, thinking about you, and I feel like they're trying to switch up the energy somehow. So either it's stepping forward towards you or running with a way more dramatic thing, if that makes sense. So other cards we got, the sacral chakra, prosperity begins, recognition and reward, memories of love, heart chakra, light, truth, sacrifice, and stand your ground. Wow. So yeah, with the heart chakra and the sacral chakra coming out, like there are real emotions towards this person. There is a real connection that you guys do have. And with memories of love, I feel like this person thinks about you a lot. Recognition and reward sometimes comes out when the person is kind of asking for an apology. Like if they did something wrong, it might be that their higher self is acknowledging that, or that might have been something that they finally thought through. I find a lot of times when people are kind of emotionally immature, they'll do something in a relationship that's like destructive, and then afterwards it's almost like they just don't want to acknowledge it, so they'll run away from it, they'll pretend it didn't happen, or they will, just kind of distract themselves by maybe going out and partying or dating someone else or whatever. But it's like with time it just stays on their minds, and they kind of can't get away from it. And so it's like over time they'll start to kind of admit to themselves like, wow, I really messed that one up. And again, I keep getting that there might be some truth revealed to you guys. Like there may be some kind of information that comes out. This person might be dating someone else or in a serious relationship that like suddenly comes to light. Or if they are in one, it might be like that they get engaged or something. But I just feel like you're going to get some information from this person. And it may be them stepping towards you. I'm not getting like definitive. I feel like it's different for each person in this pile. So take what resonates, whatever situation you're in, that will be what happens. But I feel like this person might be stepping towards you, or they might be stepping more towards their person. For some of you, there could be that feeling of like a sense of loss, or like, wow, I can't believe they would do that, because Spirit is telling you to stand your ground. So I feel like Spirit is saying that like you didn't do anything wrong in this, and that if this person, is trying to like get back at you by pretending to be totally moved on with someone else, emotionally invested in someone else, like, I don't care about you anymore, look at me, I have a new fiance or whatever, that you shouldn't be believing it, you shouldn't be giving in, in your heart how their feelings are. And also I feel like if they didn't act right towards you, or they didn't come correct towards you, that Spirit is telling you that you shouldn't settle for bad behavior, even if it is a soulmate. Sometimes soulmates aren't meant to be together because one person can't get it together, and maybe there's someone better for you that you will have just as deep of a connection with. You can get multiple soulmates, and even if someone's not your soulmate, it can still be like a heck of a lot more pleasant to live with them. You know what I mean? Someone can be maybe not your soulmate, but it's like they make living so much fun, and they're beautiful to be around, and they have so much sweetness and understanding, and that can be more fun than some of those really volatile soulmate relationships. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying that like for sure this is going to be horrible news that you're getting, or that, this is going to be a bad thing. I'm really not sure. I feel like for some of you, this could be this person stepping forward and coming into the light and, wanting to take things more honestly. Or for others, it could be that they're repressing their emotions. So I'm feeling like it could go either way for this pile. I feel like there's some of you that fit into either group. So, only time will tell how this goes. And maybe you have an intuition, like an intuitive feeling of, which way it's going to lead, but I feel like it's just different for everyone here. So it could be really positive, happy news, or it could be, this person, I feel like this person may be continuing to run. And that's another way the Ace of Cups can be interpreted, is that like just hiding emotions, not wanting to deal with them. So yeah, again, take it how it resonates, because it really could go a few different ways. But I do feel like things are going to come to light. So either this person is going to step forward with their emotions, or you're going to see the extent of how they've been running. So there's going to be information coming to you. There's going to be some knowledge that you guys become aware of. So other cards we got are Gateway reversed, Openness reversed, New beginnings, Going forward, and Illumination reversed. So yeah, I feel like this is so interesting with new beginnings and going forward. Like, this is a new time. However this plays out, this is a new opening and kind of a portal into this new time in your life. This new, I feel like something is going to be developing in the relationship sector. However this plays out, I feel like it's going to open up something that's been stagnant. Like, maybe you've been hung up with this person, and maybe them, you know, kind of publicly moving on with a new partner or something like that is going to make you be like, you know what, that's the final straw. I'm done. And your emotions will start to, you know, start to move away. Or it might be that they're stepping forward towards you, and they do want a new start. They want to give things a new shot. So I'm not getting definitive answers, but I just feel like either way, this is going to be opening you guys into new romantic blessings, into a new romantic start, and a new romantic life. And I feel like also things are going to be illuminated. You're just going to get more mental clarity about what's going on in this situation. You're not going to be as confused or wondering like, what happened? I feel like there's things you're just kind of kept in the dark about. It might even be like things happened that were really confusing at the time of the relationship. Like, maybe it was a confusing ending and you never got closure, or you never got that moment of like, hey, this is my feelings and this is what happened and let's talk it through. Like, you know, where you just never had that kind of, okay, let's put a pin on things and I understand what happened. And I feel like you're going to get some kind of knowledge or understanding of exactly like what went down. So either way, it's going to be like, there's going to be more knowledge coming in. And I feel like a lot of that knowledge is just going to free you to make better choices. It's going to move your romantic life forward in a way where maybe it was stagnant before. Maybe you weren't or haven't been open to like new love, new people. Maybe you've been hung up on someone from the past, and something is going to happen to give you that closure where you can move forward. Or maybe this person is going to step back to you. I'm really, like, again, I wish I could tell you guys exactly what's going to happen, but Spirit is saying that it's open-ended and it's going to be different for different members of this pile since it's a general reading. So I can't say for sure, but I do think there's going to be forward momentum in your romantic life for sure. And a lot of this has to do with that past relationship and something either like falling away or some kind of clarity. And then there could be some in this group that's just like happy in their relationship, and that's going to be moving forward into like more commitment. You know, but I feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be some kind of reveal of information that will help you with a past relationship. So yeah, I do think it's just going to give you guys a fresh start that you really need. Like, I feel like you're going to look back and be like, oh wow, that was so stagnant, or like, I can't believe that I didn't know that. And that just clarifies things. And I feel like by the end of autumn, there's going to be some like very integral puzzle piece that's in place that really helps you get a new perspective on things. Like, yeah, where maybe in the past you felt a little confused or you just didn't really understand what happened, and there's going to be some very important piece of information that just puts everything into perspective for you, and I feel like you're going to be very grateful for that. So we also got sad embrace, flying, rock bottom, stuck in the mud, and yep. So I don't know. I mean, some of you guys may just be really stuck on this person, and some of these cards are kind of negative. Rock bottom, sad embrace, stuck in the mud. So it could be a sad reveal of information, something that you don't want to hear, but I feel like that would be a blessing because some of it is what you need to hear to move on. Some of it is like you have been stuck in the mud on this person, and even if it's temporary pain, in the long term, it's a lot better to know this. It also could be this person coming back, like them admitting that they've hit rock bottom and that they have been sad over you, and that, you know, they're willing to move forward. But I feel like for a lot of you, it's just going to be like you get some clarity that helps you finally release yourself. I feel like maybe this person will do something shady or post something on social media or make it public that they're dating someone else, or you find out something that they did when you were together, but there's just more of like an awareness of what went down that helps give you closure, helps give you healing, and helps you get this forward momentum. Because I think Spirit is saying that they don't want you to be hung up on this person forever. What Spirit is telling me is like they want you to live a full life, and they want you to be having, fully engaged in things, not just living in the past. So yeah, for those of you where that is something you may think you're guilty of, I feel like Spirit is going to try to kind of move things along. They really want to see you flying and experiencing things. And I feel like that's the destination you're headed towards, is like being more involved, having a beautiful dating romantic life that's really fulfilling, where your feelings are honored and where it's exciting, it's fun, it's positive, it's high vibrational energy, not being stuck in the past or being worried about someone else or feeling stagnant energy. That's not what Spirit wants for us. Like, life is meant to be lived. So I feel like for some of you, if there is someone that you've had a hard time getting over, that's going to be like loosened. Those chains are loosened. Like, you are going to start having breakthrough moments where it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I could see myself dating someone else, or maybe he's not that great, or maybe she's not that great. And mentally things start kind of falling into place. So we also got childhood, innocence, fairies, earth magic, tsunami, wake up call, dragonfly, emergence, and winter solstice, reflection. So yeah, for some of you guys, this could have been like first love kind of a situation, or someone that just made you feel like you were experiencing first love, where like, for the first time you just had that head over heels feeling of like, I can't stop thinking about this person. I'm obsessed. I'm so into them. And I feel like that's the kind of relationship that they're talking about, is just like that really intense kind of situation. Also with tsunami, wake up call, again, I feel like that's what we're talking about some kind of information happening, or some kind of knowledge that you'll get that will put everything into perspective and make you realize that maybe it's that you deserve better. For some of you, it could be like an actual wake up call, as in this person finally calls you, finally texts you, finally steps forward, finally emerges and is like, hey, these are my feelings. I'm ready to put it out there and be mature. But I definitely feel like for the majority, I feel comfortable saying that it would be more along the lines of some clarity about this relationship and some kind of reflection about it. Like, you guys are going to be thinking about it and being like, wow, maybe I deserved better, or yeah, that kind of wasn't cool what that person did. And there's going to be this, like, it's almost like growing up energy. Like, there's a maturity that starts to happen. There's an awareness of what you deserve and what is capable. Because I think sometimes when we fall in love for the very first time, we think that's it. Like, oh, this could never happen again. I could never feel this strongly about anyone. And of course, there are different levels of love. So I'm not trying to deny how special like a soulmate love is, but you can have multiple soulmates in a lifetime. And, a lot of times you may think like, oh, that's over, it'll never happen again. And it's so not true. And besides, sometimes you might not even like, as soulmate love, as amazing as it is, sometimes it can be draining or overwhelming. And sometimes there truly is something nice about being with someone that you really like, really are, feel a lot of respect for, but it's not that kind of overwhelming, like addiction, obsessive feeling, you know what I mean? So I feel like for you guys, there's this stepping forward into maturity. There's this kind of awareness of your romantic life and patterns that happened or things that happen. And I feel like this is part of the process of you guys moving forward into the relationship that you really deserve, and a relationship that really is going to fulfill a lot of the things that you've been trying to manifest. So whether that's in the direction of this person stepping back forward towards you, or something like this person, you finally finding out that they have a new partner or something like that, I feel like it's just going to be a really positive step forward for you. It's going to be like really positive growth and a new awareness that helps you guys move forward in such a fantastic direction. So either way, it's going to be a huge blessing for you guys. And it's just going to manifest differently. For some of you guys, it's going to be that celebration moment that like is on the path to you guys having a wedding ceremony or something. And for others of you, it's going to be you stepping away and being like, you know what? I deserve better. I deserve to find something that really, where I feel like a treasure, and I deserve to step forward into, you know, my most powerful energy. And I feel like, afterwards, you're going to look back on this time as like a powerful time, a powerful awareness, even if you have to spend, you know, a night with like a bottle of wine and like a pizza and cry that the person, you know, is now engaged or something. Either way, it's still going to be a positive movement in the right direction, because I feel like what is no longer serving you is going to start falling away, and what does serve you is going to start stepping forward towards you. So this is all about positive momentum in your romantic life, even if it may not seem that way at first glance. For some of you, you may be like, this is horrible, but it's really not. Sometimes it's kind of like pruning a garden, how you have to trim away all the dead, useless branches and stuff, or the dead leaves. Like, that's part of life. You have to clear out the old to make room for the new. And so I feel like that's kind of this process that's happening for you guys. It's like this clarity in what you guys deserve, this clarity in what you guys want, and this clarity about the situation. Because I do feel like there was also some confusion about the situation. There was some dishonesty, or there was some stuff that was hidden from you. And that would make a lot of sense as well with the Seven of Swords reversed. So this person may have been hiding stuff from you even during the relationship. And then afterwards, you find out, like this during autumn, you might find out something of like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Or I can't believe they hit on this person while they were with me, or something like that. But it's like, it gives you the strength to move forward. It gives you the ability to really step into your power. And I feel like you guys are actually stepping towards, either way this goes down, because again, use your intuition or take what resonates, leave the rest. But either way, you guys are stepping towards your like long-term partner. Like, this is a step towards a better life, more of the kind of romantic life that you deserve. Even if it may not seem that way at first glance for some of you, it may seem like, oh my God, this is awful. It's definitely not. It's definitely you stepping towards a long-term potential, and someone that I feel like is really going to value you a lot more. So yeah, just however this goes down, know that it's really a positive. And I think with winter solstice being the final card, I mean, reflection, it's just about growth. It's really about that mature energy. You know, with winter, it may seem like all the trees are dead, but it's the most powerful period. And it has to, you know, go through that winter where all the leaves are off. There is no kind of plant life around. And it may seem like dead. Like if you were an alien who came down, you'd probably be like, what the heck is this? Oh my God, this place looks horrible. It's so ugly. But then, you know, of course, that's making way for the spring. And you can't have the spring unless you have deep winter. I've lived in places that like don't have winter. And it's amazing how dry and like there's no green. And I personally love like having a lot of greenery around me. So I really need those kinds of seasons. And, you know, when you don't have those, when it's just the same all year round, although that may sound great at first idea of like, oh, so there's no winter. You need the winter to get to that beautiful, like joyful, riotous spring where there's just flowers blooming and trees and just, you know, and it's just so gorgeous. It takes your breath away. You need the winter to get that. And all the parts of the world that have a winter have that beautiful springtime, and the parts that don't just kind of stays the same. And honestly, I don't think it looks that good. Sometimes it's like a rainy season, but either way, you need that period that may seem like kind of a sad stage. And that's what leads to, you know, the absolutely beautiful parts. So I feel like for you guys, this is just going to be so much positive momentum forward, positive momentum towards what you want. And I also think you guys are getting a lot more clarity on what you want. There's a lot more maturity here. I feel like also it was the Page of Pentacles that was upright. And that's just showing that you guys are stepping into so much more of a mature energy, and you're not engaging in like kind of the silly like behavior from your past of glorifying someone who doesn't treat you well, or doing wishful thinking, or doing some of the immature behaviors. It's like you guys are stepping forward into like, I think I'm ready for the real thing. I think I'm ready for real love, you know? And I'm hearing that Real Love song by Carly Rae Jepsen. If you haven't heard it, definitely look it up. But it's like, it's about, you know, I don't want something that's just kind of fake love, or not those deep feelings and the real respect and like everything that comes with it. I want the real thing. I don't want like, oh yeah, I feel lukewarm about this person, but we matched on Tinder or whatever. I want real love. And I feel like that's what you guys are learning that you deserve. And you're starting to figure out the path that you'll have to take to get you there. And there may be some things you have to leave behind, and that's okay, because all that matters is you end up at the right destination. And you guys are definitely getting several steps closer to that. So just know that all these things are serving your good, and whatever happens, I'm excited for you guys to get this clarity. It's always, you know, sometimes it may not be fun to get that news, but those moments of clarity are, I mean, they are like priceless. I just love them as a Mercury square Pluto person. Whenever I find out like a hard truth, I'm like, yes, because I mean, as much as it may be painful, that's really what you need in the long term, because it's so much better than living in like delusion or in a fantasy world. It's so much better to know the real truth. So I'm excited for you guys to find out whatever this is, whether it's stepping forward, whether it's you guys finding out some shady information, but either way, it is for your benefit. So I really hope that helped you guys. Please let me know if it did in the comments. Also, make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. I post every few days. So if you want to see more videos, make sure you have the notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. So I am sending you guys so much love and light. I will see you guys in the next reading. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye.